Okay, this is your host, Jester Tirapasok Intia, and I am with Metro Team Pro, Joven Huerto, here at the panel. And now you are seeing, and you will be seeing the final eight right now. Hold on, I think we're gonna show you. There you go. That's the final table, Boss Joven. And as we can see, our venue announcer, Brian Malantik, announcing the final eight and their chip count. But we have a copy of that here. Okay. But i-share muna natin yung ating live stream. Yan, as we are sharing it. Okay. Quickly, this is the rundown. At seat number one, you have Choi Kyung Min with 1.8 million. Okay. Seat number two is Egoy Lagatus with 3.6 million. Seat number three is Wan Chong Il with 1.5 million. Sige, let's have that. Baka nagsasabay kami ng audio ni Brian. Let's have him hear it later and we can recap later. Boss Joven, this is an even 4 versus 4 between Korean players and Philippine players. Yes. 4 Batang Metros and 4 Korean. As ang ganda ng rehistro ng audio ngayon because we have upgraded our boom mic sa final table so we can clearly hear the table banter, the table chatter ng ating mga players. Alright. There you go. Venue announcer Brian Malantik announcing the start of the final table. The dealer is now dealing the first hand of this final table. Give me a few minutes because we are going to live stream this. We are going to share the live stream, Boss Joven. Maraming mga nag-aantay. Regular ante na to. Of course, the tournament started with big blind ante.
Person
But,
na yata si Alex Lai, yung pocket 6.
Pocket 6.
Malamang race lang siya dito.
Oo. He's not the shortest stack, siya ba? Oo, he is with 710. Okay, if you have just joined us, this is the final table of the Asia Poker Championship brought to you by Metro Card Club, the home of Philippine Poker Champions, and KMGM, the Korea Mind Game members. The final table is composed of 4 Filipinos versus 4 Koreans in this table. Tama ka, no?
Yoli niya na rito dahil
Oo.
less than 10 BP na lang siya.
Oo. Actually, itong blinds na to, Boss Joven, nag-roll back pa to. Nag-roll back pa to. That was the advice, but we have to check. Did they? Can we 48? Parang hindi na, oo. Hindi na pala. Mali ang info ko. Parang narinig ko kasi. Pero ito, and William Ismael, sitting on 3.6, has actually a hand that he can call Alex with if he wants, no? But he's thinking about it. Boss Joven, kung ikaw ang nasa position ni William with ace-10 offsuit, you have 3.7 million, a shove of 700 under the gun from a relatively tight player. That is Alex Lai.
Si Alex Lai, baka tapunan ko muna siya.
Oo.
First deal of the day.
Oo. Ayun, at pareho kayo ng iniisip ni William Ismael. Ace-10 kasi parang napakanipis. No? Parang you can shove with ace-10, can you call with it?
Depende rin sa player na umall-in eh.
Yes, I think malaking factor dito yung reputation ni Alex Lai. kay William Ismael. Oo. Okay. Baka hindi malinaw sa mga early viewers natin, which is napakarami kaagad nila. 1,000 kaagad. Sandali pa lang tayo nag-i-stream. We'll give you a quick rundown of players as they are seated right now in the final table you are seeing, and as announced earlier by our venue announcer Brian Malantik. At seat number 1, you have Choi Kyung Min sitting at 1.8 million. Seat number 2, that's George Egoy Lagatus with 3.6 million. Seat number 3, Juan Huang Xiong-il. Huang Xiong-il actually is the uh, chip leader of Day 1A, if I'm not mistaken, Boss Joven. He is sitting at 1.5 million. Seat number 4 is Shin Kyung Rim with 720,000. Sitting at seat number 5 is Lee Seok Young with 2.8 million. Seat number 6 is William Ismael with 3.7 million. Seat number 7 is Jeremy Katalig, who is actually coming into this final table, the chip leader with 5 million. And at seat 8, we've just seen him shove the shortest stack of the final table, Alexander Alex Lai. All right. Okay. Okay. We have a feedback from our live viewers. Medyo mahina. Ipapaano natin. It's okay. Ipapaakyat lang natin. Can we raise the volume ni Boss Joven? Ako, walang problema sa akin because
Kahit hindi na tayo
nakalunok
gumamit
ako
ng
ng
ano.
mikropono eh. Oo, pero si Boss Joven medyo talagang hindi by default soft spoken ho talaga itong ating Metro Team Pro. Pero dapat marinig nyo yung ano,
So, meron
yung
na tayong action dito.
yan.
Si Egoy Lagato, si George, nag-place ng 220.
Anong position niya? UTG under the UTG plus 1. So under the gun plus 1.
Oh, fold.
Wow.
Pocket 6 fold.
Pocket 6 ni Huang Xiong-il.
Eto na. Si Jeremy, malamang call dito. May bara si Jeremy,
Yes,
ace 10
oo.
offsuit.
And with 5 million, he can afford to do that, no?
Alright, so mention your free block. So far, we find the negative reads. Raise and not fall by Germany, we're seeing flop. King clubs, two spades.
May sipit kaya rito si ano? Si Egoy.
Knowing how Egoy plays, and pero big stack tong kalaban niya, he
Ah.
might check this behind. Let's see, no? Okay, he might, pero he's thinking about it. You can see Egoy is at seat number 2 right now, being shown in your screen. Yun. Kasi, well,
Call dito si ano?
oo.
Malamang call dito
Oo,
si
kasi
Jeremy.
may inside straight draw si
Ah.
Jeremy eh. Oo. At saka ang gameplay ni Jeremy, parang alam na natin na ko-call siya sa mga ganitong flop.
Lalo na't meron siyang draw.
Mm. Eto, depende na sa
I think check to turn.
check to. Oo.
Ewan natin kung tutira pa si Egoy dito.
Pero I've seen Egoy fire a second barrel bluff in the past. So ayan, he's reaching down for his chips. Mukhang hindi niya papakawalan kasi yung pwedeng speculative yung speculative call yung sa flop eh. Alam niya na second barrel will do it eh. Kasi di ba Boss John, parang basic kung yung kalaban mo tapos
Meron.
kumol lang sa race mo, ikaw yung nag-initiate.
Parang
Alam
ahead
mo,
ka na eh.
most of the time matatawag ka sa flop.
Okay.
Kasi titingnan niya kung anong gagawin mo sa
sa
turn,
turn.
di ba? Pero pag hindi, of course, nandun din yung texture ng baraha, ng board. Kung hindi naman binigay yung draw or kung ano man,
Tira ka ulit ng turn.
oo, ng turn, no? Yan. Kaya ito yan, a very, a sizable pot taken down by
George Lagatos.
Egoy Lagatos, purely on guts. Ayan, o ito, mukhang pang race na naman. Kung yung ace 7 offsuit, in-race niya, ito pa kayang ace 5 suited. Oh, mukhang,
Gagawin niya yata ulit.
oo, probably same race size.
Lalo pat hindi pa nakikita ng mga kalaban yung barahan niya na
Oo,
i-raise.
yes. Let's see. Ito, you can see on your screen and very, nako, William has a hand that he can call with. I'm sure. I'm sure he will call with this. Or not. Medyo hindi pa siya
Pinipil pa nila yung mesa siguro.
Oo, hindi pa naka fine tune to engage itong ating mga big stack players. Ito yung pinag-uusapan din kagabi. At this point, at this stage, uh, William Ismael with almost the same stack with Egoy Lagatos, do you want to engage him this early, no? With, baka yun din ang iniisip niya.
Hindi na muna, mamaya na lang konti.
Mamaya na
Pag
lang.
medyo premium na yung baraha.
Kaya medyo manipis eh.
Kaya nirespeto niya rin siguro under the gun ratio. Galing sa previous race ni Egoy, previous hand na A7. Although di niya alam yung baraha, pero nirespect niya muna siguro
Parang
yung...
napabor yung dalawang magkasunod na race ni Egoy. Kasi kung iisipin mong hangin yung una, parang titira ba ng pangalawa, di ba?
Saka UTG yung dalawa niya ng ni-race.
And it's not really clear, literally air because that's ace high, both hands ni-race niya with ace high. Let's read our early comments habang wala pang masyadong action from our live stream. Yan, shout out. Nako, buena mano. Gerard Lubas. Ayan, shout out sa'yo.
Boss Gerard.
Chops Chua, Boss Chops Chua, past RBS champion yan. Okay, Kim Yusin, kilala ko to. Hindi ka naman sa South Korea talaga. Magandang araw, Sir Tira Pasok and Sir Joven. Jeric Almisayin, ilang minutes ang stream delay? We are coming to you with a 10-minute delay. This is a 10-minute delay.
And shout out to Mr. Jano Alvarez.
Ayun.
Isa rin sa pinakamagaling na poker player natin.
Oo. At ito, talk of the town to, kaninang final table ng high roller. Yat Xavier, wait nyo ako on the way. Talagang inaantay ka.
Mamaya makikita nyo ngayon na itsura ni Yat Xavier dahil sa prop bet kagabi.
May prop bet, mamaya interview natin siya. Marlon Santos, na Jaryo din si Alex. Ayan. Of course, he's referring to Alex Lai. Jesse Trance, good luck po sa inyo lahat, lalo na sa aking kahawig na si William Israel. Pa-shoutout po. Jesse and Joven Huerto watching. Ayan, si Jesse Trance is seaman actually to. So medyo pwedeng totoong nasa Norway to.
Maganda rin yung run niya recently sa mga tournaments.
Nag-final table siya. Last big tournament ng Metro, yung Metro Walk to a Million. Okay, Randall Chua.
Randall, magandang hapon sa'yo.
Natanong niya, yan, kung nagpagupit na.
Si Boss Tom, saludes.
Boss Tom.
Boss Tom, miss ka na namin dito.
Actually,
dalawin mo naman kami dito.
Nandito ata siya kayo. Salmer David King Gomez, how much po ang prize pool? The total number of players that joined the main event is at 502. Total prize pool is a little over 20 million. It stands at 20,080,000. Yan. Ito yung final 8, Boss Joven. Ang minimum payout nito right now currently is at 360,000. 360,000.
Tapos meron pa nagpapa-shoutout Mark Angela Mendoza, si Chika.
Oy,
Pa-shoutout sa Stella Moto Lifestyle. Kung may mga kailangan kayo sa mga motor parts, especially mga best scooter.
Yan, kasi usong-uso ngayon ang Vespa, no, napakasikat maski sa mga big casino. As we see, we'll try to go back sa inyong mga comments, mga kaibigan, but we see a very good hand developing right now. William Ismael opening this hand, early position with A7 offsuit, but Alexander Lai
Pocket king.
Off. Oo, may pocket king.
Ano gagawin mo yan, Yes? Halimbawa, ikaw may hawak ng pocket king. Ima-maximize mo ba or
At
I-all mo na siya.
hindi, ako i-maximize ko to 3 bet lang ako rito.
Raise and double.
3 bet lang ako
3 bet
dito.
can double.
Siguro raise ko dito, open siya ng
Ah,
170
in-all na ni Alex.
pero in-all in na ni Alex. Pero sa bagay no, kasi baka iba si Alex because alam niya yung profile niya kay kay William eh.
Mm.
So baka kung i-3 bet pa niya with 700k, baka sobrang lakas ng
Sobrang
galaw
lakas.
na nun eh. Oo. So baka I might do the same. Kasi nga 740. Eto, George Egoy actually with a nice hand pero I don't think he'd want to mix it up with these guys right now. Considering na ang nag-open ito si William, so ayaw niyang ma-dead money kung lalaruin pa niya yon. So he let go of it. Folded back now to the original racer, William Ismael with a quick fold. Sobrang solid ng profile ni Alex, especially para kay William.
Eh, madalas naman nakakalaro ni William si Alex
Yes.
sa mga tournament natin dito sa Metro.
Kasi knowing Williams gameplay, he'd look up eh. I think if it is any other player, baka ay hindi rin kasi A7 parang ayun, naririnig natin yung table banter sinasabi ni Egoy kay William, masusukat na raw yung baraha because alam mo ito usapan yesterday with William Ismael coming into this final table with a very good stack of 3 million. Ako personally, when I am in a tournament and in the same table with William, and William has a big stack, I'm really intimidated by his
Yeah.
gameplay.
Marami siyang galaw.
Oo, ang daming galaw, ang hirap basahin. So, and he can be quite aggressive when he has a big stack. So, maybe it's the same vibe na nararamdaman itong ating mga local players because yung ating mga Korean baka hindi sila masyado pang familiar.
Actually,
with the
yung mga ibang
gameplay.
Koreans din, hindi tayo familiar sa mga laro
That's
nila.
correct, oo. Ayan. Eto, we see the first raise galaw from a Korean player, Choi Kyung-min. Sa cut-off folded to him. So, at least we're seeing that Koreans also know how to use their position. Lalo na itong mga nag-survive dito sa ating final table. Kasi 10-8 raise siya, no? 230.
Pinisyon na ni Egoy. Call siya sa bottom ng King Jack offsuit.
Pero ito medyo mataas tong race na to ng Koreano, no? Hindi sila katulad nating mga Pilipino na nasa 2.5.
2.1, maximum 2.5.
Ito, medyo malaki-laki to. So, it's a heads up between Choi Kyung-min and Egoy Lagatus. This flop might favor Choi. As we see him reach out for his chips and fire continuation bet.
Yan na pa yata isang call.
May
May isang
tawag
call pa.
si
May isang
Egoy
tawag pa
dito,
si Egoy.
no? Kasi position siya eh.
Saka meron na sa kanya yung King
Na
Spades.
King Spade, yes.
2 overcards.
Pag hindi tumama
Pag-
dito si Choi.
Pag kumatok si Choi,
Oo,
sigurado kuha na na eh.
Katulad niyan. Uy, pero hindi.
Pero nagkaroon
May
siya ng draw.
nag-improve to open-ended. So, baka ito na yung effective. Pero yung stock ni Choi, kaya tiningnan ni Egoy, pot is now at 1.3, including that second barrel bet of 280 ni Choi. Paano? May galaw pa ba dito si Egoy? Boss Job?
Kung ilalagay niya talaga sa wala, pwede niyang erase na to. Pero ang hirap din kasi first time na mag-raise niya fold
Oo.
si Egoy.
At saka yung pot, halos parang tiningnan niya, parang pot committed si Choi dun sa given yung last bet niya. So yun, very good move by the Korean player. Sino ba yun? Si Choi Kyung-min.
Choi Kyung-lim.
Si Choi Kyung-min. Of course, Boss Joven, very notable dito. One of the 4 surviving Korean players to make it to the final table. is the top guy for KMGM, si
Si
Tiger.
Sherman. Sherman
Si
Tiger.
Chairman Tiger, who is actually the, I think, the first player for Korea to do it back to back because he was with us
In
nung
the
nakaraang
first
final
first
table.
APC
Oo. Well, that's the second APC kasi. The first one was with yung napanalunan ni Kid, di ba?
ni Kid Rock.
That's correct. This is the third edition of the Asia Poker Championship here at the Metro Card Club. The first one was won by Kid Araniel. The second one, the defending champion actually right now, Mike Takayama. But unfortunately, Mike exited nasa 50 plus ata yesterday. So he won't be around this final table to defend his title. So definitely we will see a new champion crowned today. The question is, will it be
Filipino or a Korean?
Philippine colors or Korean colors that will be flying after this final event?
Siyempre, gusto natin Pilipino pa rin na manalo.
Oo.
Para
But
sa next APC, mas gigil yung mga Koreans na sila
oo, na
naman.
sila naman.
Ah,
Actually, nakita ko parang ang dami kong nakita ngayon ng mga based on sa pag-interview ko, mga more accomplished at panlaban, pangdiinan talagang mga Korean players in this edition. So siguro sila rin nag-usap, "Uy, nakakadalawa na tayong APC." And yet, no, they're talking, this is the third time we've had two APCs in Metro and we have yet to win a title. So I guess the challenge is very high among the Korean players.
Is starting soon. Players may bind with the cash your bind is 20,000 plus 2,000.
Yon.
Multiple reentry is allowed.
As you can hear sa background, ladies and gentlemen, Boss Joven, ina-announce ni
Brian Mantic.
Brian Malantic that there is actually an kasabay nitong final table is the last side event for the Asia Poker Championship Series, which is the Monster Stack. Nagsimula na yan, level 1 currently, and late registration is up until
End of level 10.
iyon.
O, inaanyayahan ko yung ibang mga pokalista dyan. Punta na kayo rito sa Metro. Meron pa tayong last event. Trophy event pa rin to ng under APC.
Oo, ng under APC. Last na to, Monster Stack. Actually, maganda tong side event na to, ha. You're coming in with 30,000 starting stock.
35,000.
35,000 starting stock. Ito,
And it's a showdown between Mr.
Shin Kyung Rim all in with 520 and Egoy Lagatos calling in with ace 4 offsuit. The cards are tabled now, so Egoy now sees that his ace 4 is dominated. Let's see. Will this be the first bust out of the final table?
It's a showdown. Let's see the clock.
Would you call this hand with ace 4, Boss Joven?
Galing na sa race ni Egoy eh. Kaya wala. Call na siya.
Kaya naano na siya.
Rainbow on the
You
clock.
missed the flop. So medyo lumit na yung percentage.
Oh,
Pero
na-turn
ayun.
yung 4.
Of course.
Now Egoy is ahead.
Oh, now Egoy
Is Mr. She needs
A king.
a king. And only a king to survive this. The river is 5.
Wow. So now, first casualty of the final 8 from Korea, Shin Kyung Rim, going out at 8th place and winning
300.
300.
And just like that,
380.
we are down to 7.
380 ata. 380,000 as announced natin kanina. Let me check if I have a copy of the payout here. We have a copy of the payout. Yes, 360. So 360. So now, the players, this last 7 players are assured of 480. That's the paid jump. Okay, they're playing 480. Okay, yan, with that buzz out, balikan natin itong ating yan. Yan, saan ba tayo to? Yan. Loricel Ecot, shout out. Oh, I love Joven daw, sabi ni Boss Tom. Okay. Shout out Maxwell Bimbi Rosete. Yan, isa sa mga early champions.
Sabi ni Bimbi, pa-steak po ng donut.
ano ba tong donut yan?
Actually, mahilig sa donuts yan si Bimbi. Imagine, nandun kami sa Cebu na ikwento lang sa akin ng yachts, no?
Mm-mm.
Madaling araw, nandun kami sa Cebu, sabi ni Bimbi kay Yachts. Naghahanap siya ng donut kung saan pwedeng bumili ng donut.
Excuse me po. Eto, Alvin Calzuniga. Hello, Sir Jester. Nakakamiss maglaro sa Metro. Ayan, balik na kayo. Lalo dapat sinamantala nyo every time na may Asia Poker Championship. Actually, kahit walang Asia Poker Championship, I have been coming here sa Metro and I can see sobrang ganda ng mga cash games ngayon
Yeah.
dito, Boss Joven.
Saka meron din tayo mga daily tournaments. Like tomorrow, balik tayo sa regular daily tournament natin na
Oo.
20,000 guaranteed with a buy-in of 350 pesos. Balik muna tayo sa,
Pero
sa action.
teka, ah, William Ismael completing the blinds to Jeremy Catalic. Ito, bigyan kita ng quick background dito sa dalawa. Magkamesa to yesterday, Boss Joven, at ang laki ng stock ni Jeremy at 3 million, pero ang daming times nilang nagbanggaan ni William. At nag-spew ng chips si Jeremy going to Williams direction, kaya lumaki rin yung stock ni William. Maganda lang ang recovery ni Jeremy because right after that, nabigyan siya ng aces against Kyle Magbanwa, our Metro 2M champion, and he actually busted Kyle. All-inan sila pre-flop with aces si Jeremy versus pocket tens ni Kyle. So ang advantage naman ngayon ni Jeremy, he is sitting right after sa left ni William, so may position siya kay William. So yun, parang tatlong hand na, Boss Joven, ang give up ni William. So parang hindi pa talaga, still waiting and maybe trying to find his groove to engage here sa final table. But he's making good folds actually. He's not looking up players with mediocre hands, no? So medyo solid ang selection niya.
Pag na-raise siya, may trumibet, tapon.
Yes, oo. Eto, balikan natin ulit. Jaja Alonso, shout out. Jared Santos, shout out. Idol Boss 75. Boss Joven at Boss Lester, sabi ni Jared Santos. Jared, wala si Boss Lester. Papunta na siyang Cambodia. Lester siya, Jester ako. Ayan. Jordan Irving Prince
Yan.
Gilbert, pa-shoutout from Cebu.
Yeah, kaibigan natin sa Cebu.
Yes. Shoutout sa ating mga Cebu players. Pokerista from Cebu. Yan, Cap Andy Abundo, shoutout sa iyo. Vince Propanes, watching from Oakdale, California.
Nasa California na pala si Vince, no?
Oo,
Kaya
shout out
pala
sa'yo.
hindi na natin nakikita
Oo nga.
naglalaro.
Carlos Cortez, shout out. Yan, si JM San Manuel. Oh, yan. Shout out sa iyo. Rooting for Egoy Lagatus.
Si Boss JM ng Cebu.
Oo. Okay. Naalala ko na sabi ni Calvin, in-invite mo ako sa isang training sa poker. Parang medyo matagal na yun. Eman Sigismundo, Joven Huerto Boss, pa-shout out kay Rufus Pixma. Kagabi ka pa, luma na yan, Eman.
Wala na, naibaw
Oo.
na yata sa lupa si
Kaya
Rufus.
na eh. Joseph Avelino, inaaral ata ng mga Korean yung bago ni Jonathan Little, kaya nilalakihan. Naisip ko lang mga idol.
Yung mga race sila.
Oo, he's referring to a lot of poker players who are vlogging na ngayon. At pinag-uusapan natin yung vlogging, Boss Joven, kagabi, kaninang madaling araw, ini-invite natin sila. Ang ating top player, Mike Takayama.
Yes, meron siyang YouTube channel, is yung Team Takayama.
Oo. At we're inviting you to subscribe to that YouTube channel kasi ang magiging content niyan, the first content ata is he will be analyzing yung mga hands na nilaro niya nung nakaraang Asia Poker Championship na nagsiyang champion.
Okay.
And as we talk about Team Takayama, yan nakikita mo, yung logo, yung patch ni Egoy Lagato sa harap niya, that's actually a Team Takayama patch. As we see, nakikita kaagad natin yung mga hands dito.
And from under begun the race from Egoy to 220,000 chips. Action is now Tiger.
Ito, ayan. Sino to? Ayan, si Tiger na, yung may ace king suited. Folded sa kanya, no? So,
Race si George
nag-raise si
Lagatos ng
Egoy ng
Under
10
the
chip
Gun.
suited. Oo.
In hijack position, Tiger has Ace King Spades. Malamang may 3, sigurado may 3 bet na rito.
Oo. Hindi naman siguro siya tatalon kagad with
Hindi.
ace king suited sa 2.8 million. Pero ito Egoy Lagatos came into this final table with 3.2 and you can see stack right now at
4.5.
4.5. So talagang nag-gain talaga siya doon sa kanyang pagiging active early on.
Pag ganyan mga may race na 220, you have Ace King suited. Magkano ang 3 bet mo?
Lagi dino-double ko.
Okay.
Double plus maybe 10, 20,000.
Okay.
So ito baka raise ko 220, baka balikan ko siya ng mga 560, 570. Umall in
All
pa
in?
Umall in nga si Tiger. Halos ganyan talaga ang balik niya even yesterday, laging all in. So you can see medyo may pagka-tight ang gameplay nito ni Tiger, no? And of course, we're going to guess that this is an automatic fold for the rest of the players to act, including the initial racer na si George na Egoy Lagatos.
Oh, yun na sa big blind si Mr. Choi
Ace
Kyung
three
Min.
suited,
Nag-iisip
talaga ba?
pa. Tatapon yan tingin ko.
Baka o yung sabi
Ah.
natin kasi medyo alam din naman nila nasa TV table sila Ayun nga, you can see a quick fold coming from Egoy Lagatos. Talaga ba? Ayan.
Shoutout ko lang pala yung family ko, nanonood.
Oo, yan.
May wife, may Marjorie. Saka yung sa tatlo kong anak, si Catherine, si Migs, and Marco.
Yan. Thank you for watching us. Boss yan. Siyempre, boss na. Anong name ng wife mo?
Marjorie.
Madam Marjorie. At sa tatlong kids. Siyempre. Sabi nga ni Chief ni Mark Rivera, pinag-uusapan namin kanina sa live stream ng final table, ang sikreto sa poker, happy wife, happy life. Oo. Kaya para napapayagan tayong bumiyahe minsan at napag-uusapan natin yung pagbiyahe, Boss Joven, alam ko, as we see this, all the hands now being shown, balik yung pocket king. Ito, pag all in.
Wala, race lang tayo dyan, pocket king.
Race lang kasi folded to him Siya yung mag-open ng action. As we see Tiger racing this his pocket kings
to 220. So,
the same.
malaki pa rin,
Malaki pa rin. Siguro kinopya niya yung race ni Egoy. Minsan may ganong penchant yung mga player Isipin mo, ay ito yung race. Ito ata yung effective na race size.
Na amount ng race.
Oo, na amount ng race. Especially nakita niya ang nagde-defend si Big Blind yung nag-race kanina na si Egoy. At Jack 3 suited
mukhang kokol dito si Egoy.
Mukhang magiging did he raise? Call lang. 220. Call lang. Nako, pag tumama si Egoy dito, hindi parang mahirap umalis si Tiger dito, pero hindi pabor kay
Flop is 8 of hearts, Queen of Diamond, Queen of Clubs. Way ahead talaga yung pocket.
Dahil nakikita natin yung whole cards, but can this be something na pwedeng i-represent ni Egoy?
Tingin ko hindi na. Hindi sa position niya.
Oo. Yung queen.
Oo.
Ang liit nung bet 120, parang natatakam si Egoy na kumol dito. Tapos tingnan niya kung anong hindi na. Kasi nga naman ang liit, pumares yung queen, so parang either queen ka or baka, di ba, malaking pockets talaga yung hawak mo. So hindi speculative yung galaw ni Egoy. Kung ikaw, kasi kung Jack 3 suited ka at nilaro mo sa race pot, ang habol mo talaga
2 diamonds sa flop.
Oo, 2 diamonds.
Yung
At
suit
the
na
very
nilalaro
least,
mo.
Oo, or 3 diamonds sa flop.
Of course, ayaw mo mag-top pair.
Yes, oo. So, ayun, dalawang malalaking hands ni Tiger, nakuha niya yung pot. So, makikita natin na umakyat yung kanyang stack to 3.5 million. At naglalakad, Boss Joven, ako mukhang matindi to. Naglalakad ang Pocket Kings. Kanina nasa seat 6.
Ngayon, kay William naman.
Ngayon nasa seat 7 kay William. At nakikita natin ang mga bara We see Wang Xiong-il with ace-10 and an ace-king from Choi Kyung-min. Naku po, mukhang magiging madugo itong particular hand na to. Let's see, folded now to Choi Kyung-min. He will see that he has
Oh, may ace
ace-king.
king.
Kaya nga yung sinasabi ko May ace-10, may ace-king. At sa stock ni Choi, 2.1, gagayahin ba niya yung ginawa ni Tiger?
3-bet lang yan, tingin ko.
Mm.
Nasa bottom naman siya.
Magkano kaya? Malit lang naman yung race ni William. Yan sinasabi natin, pag Pinoy ang nag-race, mga nasa ganyan ka lang range, di ba? 2, 2.5. Blinds now at 40,000, 80,000. So ang race ni William is almost just double. As we see the 3-bet now na ina-expect natin from Choi Kyung-min at the bottom position, 3-bet siya to 530. Anong gagawin ni Wang Xiong-il? Pero parang tight ang laro nito ni Wang. Nakita natin, nag-fold siya nga ng pocket 6 kanina
Yung first two hands natin,
Oo,
fold sila pocket 6.
eto pa, race 3-bet. Parang mapapasok mo pa ba yung ace-10 suited dito?
Wala,
Hindi
fold na.
As expected, tapon
Ang
siya.
tanong, ano kaya gagawin ni William? Ipantatrap niya ba?
Oo.
Ipantatrap niya ba yung pocket king or
Oo.
sa stack sizing siguro baka 4-bet shove na rito si ano?
Si Will. Hindi siya katulad ng mga player na pag may hawak na ganyan, paplapin ko muna pag walang alas, saka kukunin. Maski ikaw, 4-bet shove ka na dyan.
Sa 1.5, pwedeng iangat pa natin pero
Blinds at 890,
para
pero,
minsan kailangan mong balik rin yung laro mo eh.
Oo Kasi pag nag 5-bet pa siya rito,
Malakas.
para sobrang lakas.
Sobrang lakas
Talagang
ng baraha.
giveaway ng pinaparamdam niya sa kalaban niya, sobrang lakas na. So alam mong most of the time, you're dominating your opponent with a hand like this.
Umuli na nga
Yun
siya
na,
na.
all in na nga, as expected. Oy, pero hindi snap ang galaw ni Choi. So talagang iniisip din niya ngayon. Now the question, the ball is in Choi Kyung-min's court. Will he be able to get away from this hand? Now that he has put almost half of his stack actually in this spot. Boss Jobin,
Actually, 1/4 ng stock niya ang pinasok niya.
nagsimula siya at 3. Ay, hindi,
2 million ano lang.
lang pala. 1/4. 1/4 yung kanyang 3-bet. But will he be able to get away? Ito yung mga defines or separates the great players from the good players, di ba? Can you fold
Parang tingin ko parang po-fold pa yata.
Oo. Kasi hindi umisnap di ba? Kung ako to, baka, di ba? Alam mo naman ang motto
Call.
natin.
Kumol na.
Parang talagang
Nakita natin may pumold na ng isang alas. So, 2 outer na yung ace king niya, no?
I'm sure talagang inilagay ni Choi sa malaking hand to si William, pero talagang siguro iniisip niya baka it's a flip. But this is not a flip. As you can see the percentage in your screen, William is ahead 75 to 25.
Nadagdagan pa ng outs.
Oo.
For outer 10.
Actually pareho silang may gut shot sa 10,
Pero panat si Choi.
Broadway si Choi. Let's see the last card.
And the river card. River card is king of diamonds.
Nagting pa. And we will see our second casualty, another Korean. Another from Team Korea exiting Choi Kyung-min, exiting the main event at 7th place and taking home with him 480,000 in cash. Yan ang kanyang price. Now the pay jump has gone to 640,000, Boss Joven. So that's a 200,000 pay jump dito sa ating mga natitira. If you have just joined us, you are watching the final 7 players of the Asia Poker Championship being held here at the Metro Card Club, the home of Philippine Poker Champions, in collaboration with KMGM, the Korea Mind Game members, We are your casters for this afternoon. My name is Chester Tirapasok Incha together with Boss Joven Oven Toaster Huerto. Buhay pa rin naman yung oven toaster
Yeah,
mo,
oven
ano, di ba?
toaster.
Yung pa rin. Kasi sa online, ano ka na ngayon eh. One man ka na
Dalawa
eh.
yung ginagamit. Actually, dalawa yung ginagamit ko ron.
Mm.
Pero mas kilala yung oven toaster.
Oo. In fact, yung ating mga live stream viewer, yung pa rin ang tawag sa'yo. Oo, ito. Another hand for William Ismael at under the gun. This is something that he can race with. Kasi siya naman ang mag-open and we can see him reaching for those pink chips. Mas Joven, guide lang natin sila. The pink chips are, magkano yung pink chips?
25,000, I think.
50? 50 ata.
50.
50 and the gray chips are 10. So 10,000 and 50,000 are the two denominations that you can see on your screen. The pink ones, 50. The gray ones, 10. Ito, folded to Wang Xiong-il at the small blind and Tiger with 6-4 offsuit probably won't look him up. So, blinds taken down by William Ismael with his...
Eto na. Parang eto na, nag-init na si Will.
Oo. Nabuena manuan na nung Kings eh. And what a way to initiate his action, no? Ito, as we are getting ready.
As you can see, dalawa na lang yung Koreans, apat pa rin yung Pilipino natin na sa mesa.
Oo, so lamang na ngayon. Okay.
Sinasabi ni, sinasabi ni sa si
Wang
Trace,
Xiong-il.
na meron siyang ace of clubs. Dapat masasakaut niya dapat to si William. Kung
Oo.
walang ace king doon.
Kung wala yung ace king. Bakit? Nag-flash ba? Nag one card flash?
Yes, Queen Jack 9 of club, River
Oo.
King.
Pero ang hindi alam naman
Kasi
natin
nasa big
hindi
play
siya
siya nun eh.
Tsaka alam naman natin hindi siya tatawag ng ganun eh, no? May tanong si Rice, magkano may uwi ng champion? Champion will take down 5.4 million ang panalo ng champion.
Second
place
is
ang layo,
second
2.9.
2,930,000.
Oh.
Third is 1,867,600. Fourth is 1,240,000. Fifth is 840,000. And sixth is 640,000.
Yon. As we see Alex Lai racing sa hijack position, Wang Xiong-il with pocket sevens. We saw him fold pocket
Pocket
6
six.
earlier. What about pocket 7, Boss Joven?
Pwedeng i-jam niya na rito kasi hijack position naman si ano eh.
Oo. And he doesn't know how tight o medyo wala dito yung benefit ng table image.
Kasi
Ni Alex Lai,
hindi niya kilala si
kilala
Alex
niya,
Lai.
oo, ni Wang Xiong-il.
Pumlat ko lang.
Flat lang talaga, no? Sobrang medyo talagang leaning to the tighter side itong gameplay ni Wang Xiong-il. Would you do the same thing in that position, Boss Joven?
Baka hindi na. I-jump ko na siguro yun.
Oo.
Cover mo naman si Alex Lai.
Mm-mm.
Tamaan kami, may matitira pa rin sa'yo.
Oo, hindi ka naman ma-out. So, yun. Ito, William Ismael, medyo nag-isip sa
Yan.
kanyang ace 8.
Ganun ang respeto ni Will sa laro ni
Diba?
Alex.
Oo,
Fold siya ng
diba?
ace 8.
Oo. Nasayang, hindi yun, wala yung benefit na yun nga kay Wang Xiong-il. Let's see the flop. Tumama ang 8 ni, ay hindi, ace 6 pala, kala ko ace 8 si Will pala yung tumama. All in si Alex Lai. Parang matik kay Alex yun, nakita niya how pained kung gaano kahirap na tumawag si Wang Xiong-il eh. So medyo alam niyang parang pre-flop nga, hirap ka nang tumawag. Paano mo pa matatawag
Itong two overcards ka.
Oo. Pero hindi ganun kabilis ang fold ni Wang. Of course, hindi ito basta-basta rin na player. Actually, ang sabi ni Tiger at sa write-up nabasa natin, one of the more popular players to sa Korea si Wang Xiong-il, which means medyo kilala to na
kilala.
grinder
May
talaga ng tournament.
marunong talaga ng tournament.
So, iniisip niya rito, pwede bang ilagay din yung ace king ka, tinitake down mo tong pot?
Mahirap eh.
Oo, di ba? I mean, not at this level and not with the caliber of players that you
Pero
have.
sa ginawa niyang flat call lang sa pre-flop,
Oo eh. Yun.
give up na ako din sa flop.
Yes,
Kung
yes.
gano'n ang ano,
Yes, kung ganun ang galaw, no, all
ganyan ang
in.
kalaban mo.
Because Alex could have easily have an overpair in that flop. And true enough, Juan Xiong Il bleeding in this final table. He has gone down na siya na ang pinaka-shortest stock with below 1,900,000.
Actually, sa ginalaw ni Alex na marami siyang pwedeng i-represent ng barahe.
Oo. So medyo ito nakikita ba natin yung disparity probably in tournament experience between our Korean friends in the final table and our Filipino friends?
Pwede.
Oo. Sige, Japet Manalo, pa-shoutout po kay Maro at AJ. Yan, shoutout. Echo Vinosa watching, shoutout.
Magandang hapon, Boss Eko.
Oo, Rayo Ambe, pa-shoutout. Sebia from Japan. Araban, pa-shoutout. Jester, hindi to Giovanni, Boss Joven to. Einar Bernal, pa-shoutout for Daddy Alexander Live.
Kay Boss Fidel Castro, magandang hapon sa iyo. Kita tayo sa Davao this weekend.
Yon. Jensen Poker.
Ah.
Pau Coral, shout out all the players watching the final table. Osmar Moraes, congratulations player final table. Osmar Moraes, Brazil. And supporter siya ni William Ismael. Oh yan, Ma'am Tina Argao. Shout out sa iyo. Thank you for watching us. Naglaro din to ng main event pero
Yes.
sadly hindi ata. Pareho kaming malungkot ang kinalabasan. Pero may selfie naman tayo, Madam Tina. So, yan. Oy, Attorney Boss Rado Di Malibot. Wag nyo kung hindi ka namin isa-shout out, wag ka mag-alala. Yan. Tech and Calyado enjoying the live broadcast. Pa-shout out my wife, Princess, and my son, Jacob. Yan. Shout out, Madam Princess and Jacob, the son. Ba? Himala. Hindi inangat, hindi nilaro yung 10-8 suited ni Egoy. So medyo nagpahinga siya kasi nakita niya siguro.
Nasabotan si Will.
Oo, tsaka medyo naging aktibo na si Will. And definitely, this is a race from Will.
Actually, isang factor din titignan mo yun kung sino nasa kaliwa mo, kung sino nasa boton
Yes, oo,
kung kung capable ka bang i-tribet, laruin ka, di ba?
Actually, there was a hand in another tournament that I made that mistake. Nakalimutan kong tingnan kung sino yung boton. I raced with the small pair. Nakita ko yung boton si Jun Mondalo. Na ang stock, sobrang laki, sobrang massive. And true enough, I lost that hand to him. Kasi kung nakita ko siyang buton, siguro either I would have folded or just jammed it para, di ba, balaw sa mga sugalan to. So, very important yung sinasabi mo, Boss Joven, is yung tinatawag nating table awareness mo when you are in a poker tournament.
Actually, yun ang importante, especially ganito, nasa final table ka na, malaki yung premyo.
Oo.
Pakakawala mo pa ba,
At
di
saka
ba?
ang pay jump pa yung diferensya of exiting early versus exiting late, di ba? Napakalaki. So I'm sure all our players are aware of that.
Actually, nasa 502 ang nag-try na makapunta dyan sa lamesang yan.
Oo.
8 lang ang tatira ngayong araw na to.
Out of 502, you're now seeing
Again, if you have not bought in for the Monster Stack,
last 6 players pa tayo eh.
Asia Poker Championships.
Okay. Oo nga. Last 6 players tayo. So, aware sila. Okay. Sige, habang nagdi-deal. Lani Perez, go, Egoy Lagatus. Dominador Danlanon. Congrats po sa lahat. Tito Eboy, Vincent Lopez. Angelo Romanza, Muy Padidakasin. Ito, Deck Cruz.
Ito,
Go, Philippines.
si Boss Fidel, Boss Joven, huwerto pa shoutout kay Boss Paulo ng Jensen Poker Club. Magandang hapon po sa inyo mga taga Jensen.
Oo, ang Jensen ang isa sa mga
Eto na, meron tayong dumating na bisita.
Bago natin siya ipasok, may all-in dito. Si Wang Xiong Il with ace 10 of suit.
Wala.
And Jeremy Katalig
On
sa
the button.
waking up with pocket nines. I'm sure this is something that Jeremy will call. Ayan, nakita natin. Hinagis lang niya yung isang chip, signifying that he's calling.
Showdown na to between
Oo.
Ace-10 ng ini Wang Sung-il and Jeremy with holding a pocket 9.
Flip pa din to, Boss
Flip pa rin,
Joven.
flip pa rin.
2 red nines for Jeremy is ahead of the pair. It's a pair for the silver cards. The coin flip. Mr. Rama, percent live. Let's see the flop.
As our venue announcer, Brian Malantik.
2 diamonds.
Buti na lang yung 8 ang nagpares, no? Kung yung Jack yung nagpares, medyo... Uy! Double
Wang
barrel,
Sung-il
double
needs
barrel.
only Ace, 10 or King.
Oo.
Ang 9 hindi niya out, kaya full loss doon si
kasi
Jeremy.
wala na yun. King, ace, or 10 ang So, the third player to exit the main event and the third
It's another
from
Korean.
Team Korea, Wang Sung-il, the chip leader of Day 1A, now exiting the tournament at 6th place and taking home 640,000. And now the pay jump have increased. Now players are assured of 840,000. And at this point, Boss Joven, ayan, bigyan, igitna, yung gitna, yung pula, hindi, yung pula ang gitna. Kasi manipis yan eh. Kaya mga kaibigan,
Ito na po.
we would like to welcome in our panel another member of Metro Team Pro. A very solid tournament player who have just hugged the headlines namin. Pinag-uusapan po namin kaninang madaling araw ni Lester, ni Chief, ni Flo.
Jojo Tech.
Kasi may prop bet kagabi, Boss Joe. Tanggalin mo yung face mask mo. Kasi tatanggalin mo rin yan eh. May prop bet kaninang umaga, Boss Joe. Share ko sa'yo.
Nasa final table.
Nasa final table si Lester Edok. Of course, ang nakita natin yung bagong hairstyle ni Idol Lester. Kasi nga daw, yun ang kanyang move. Kasi medyo bad run siya. Para maiba yung run niya, nagpakalbo. Nung makita daw, nag-prop bet. Kwento mo nga sa atin ano yung prop bet na yon, mga kaibigan. Metro Team Pro, Jimmy, Yacht Xavier. Ano yung prop bet nyo? Ikaw ba nagsimula? Paano nakapunta sa prop bet? Teka.
Mamaya natin ipakita yung yung book ni
Walo pa sila.
Walo
Pero
pa lang
maraming
sila.
chip si Kuya Lester. Sabi ko, Kuya Les, pag nag-champion ka, gagayahin ko yung buhok mo, baka swerte. Walo pa sila nun, ha?
Oo, walo pa. Eh, nag-champion.
Nag-cheer nga ako doon sa kabila, eh.
Nung heads up, tinamaan pa ni Jojo.
Nag-hit pa si
Lester,
si
oo,
Jojo.
nag-hit
Sa
pa
chip.
siya. Oo, so natutuwa ka na nun.
Siyempre.
Tapos nakita mo yung hand, yung ace jack versus
10-9 ba? 10-8.
9-8. Oo, na-turn
Nauli
yung
na sa
jack.
flap.
Na-river 10.
Na-turn yung jack. Nag-river na straight.
ng 10. Oo. So doon ka na nalungkot.
Opo.
At nagtuloy-tuloy na yung pagtaas ni Boss Lester hanggang matalo siya at eto na po.
Ito na po,
Request
yun nangyari.
ni Chief, eh. Kailangan daw gawin to. Pakikita na po natin ang resulta ng prop bet. Ayan, teka, ipapausog ko lang sa wag iwanan muna natin 'yan. Ilalagay ko lang sa ayan, eto, papakita lang natin sa panel. Ayan mga kaibigan, Jimmy at Xavier, eto na ang resulta ng
Ayan.
Ayan na. Nagpakalbo din si Jimmy. Boss Joven, usog-usog ka ng konti para makita ka. So ito ngayon ang tanong, kasi sabi niya, gagayahin niya si Idol Lester kasi baka swertehin. So, isa sa mga prop bet nila, actually bago ka dumating, sinabi na nila, teka lang, as we see this ace queen open ni Alex Lai, no? Ayan, dalawa na ho from Metro Team Pro ang magko-comment sa atin. Alex Lai opening with 210. Ace for suited ni Egoy Lagatus. Ito, Yats, knowing Egoy, nakakalaro mo rin to ng madalas. Do you think tatawag siya dito?
Flat call lang siya rito, tingin ko.
Kokol siya.
Oo, posisyon sa
Naka-position
buton.
siya.
Oo. Of course, alam din siguro ni Egoy kung gaano ka-tight ang gameplay ni Alex.
3 race pa nga.
O 3-bet pa nga.
500,000.
Of course, pagbalik nito kay Alex, alam na natin ang magiging galaw ni Alex dito, no? Pero hindi pa natin nakikita ang hand ni William Ismael. Wala, tapon si William. Si Jeremy.
Alex Line.
All in lang.
Dumadakot ng chips si Jeremy.
Wala, fold na si Jeremy.
Wala na. Ayun, alam na nga
Carry
natin,
raise.
balik ni Alex Lai
600.
all in. Oo.
And
Hindi na
Alex
siguro
Lai is
tatawag.
all in.
Tatawag pa ba dito si Egoy? Ang stock ni Egoy, 3.9.
Kalahati yung 3-bet niya. Kalahati na ng chips ni Alex Lai.
Kano ba 3-bet niya? 500,000? Oo nga, no, tama ka. Ayun, alam na niya, tatawag siya. And he will see that he is dominated. Pero kanina, si Egoy dominated din, Boss Joven. Ace 4 din.
Ace King versus Ace 4.
Ace King versus Ace 4. Ito naman, Ace
Ace
Queen.
Queen versus Ace 4.
Pag tumama pa yung 4 dito ni Egoy, malamang lahat na ng Ace 4 niya.
Queen, 4, Jack, right on the flop.
Jack Queen 4, parehong tumama ng kicker. So, baliwala na yung alas dito for Egoy, no?
Alex still
He needs one of the 2 fours.
Turn card is the 7. Let's see the river card. Alex Lai looking at the double up. King on the
Another
river.
double up kay Alex Lai.
And double up
So
for
Alex Lai, after coming in as the shortest stock in this final table, is now up to 2.4 million in stock.
Si Alex ba ang pinaka-short?
Yeah.
Kanina nung nagsimula yung final table, pumasok siya ng
I think 700 plus.
Ayan, pumasok siya ng 710.
710.
Ito yung pasok nila eh. Ito yung seating. So,
2.4.
actually sa gameplay ni Alex, maganda rin na nabibigyan talaga siya ng barahan
May mga baraha siya.
na malalaro niya. Okay. So ito, pero ayun, tinamaan si Egoy, pero malaki naman ang stock niya. So, pero malaki-laki rin yun, no? Yung nabawas sa kanya, o mga 1M din.
And followed by second chips, Jeremy.
Yeah, meron
Oo.
3 bet siya ng 500 plus,
Oh, tapos
510, call siya ng 610.
600, no? Mga 1.1.
5 minutes remaining on the
So as I was saying kanina, dito kay Yats, Boss Joven, iniwan na, ibinilin na daw sa cage yung iyong pang-buy-in sa Monster Stock na side event na nangyayari ngayon, mga kaibigan. If you still
Magsisimula
want
pa lang.
to join Monster Stock happening right now here at the Metro, the last side event of the Asia Poker Championship, maganda to, starting stock of 35,000 with a buy-in of 22,000, so you can just imagine kung gaano kalaki ang prize pot na mabubuo nito. At dito natin masusubok kung swerte talaga. Pag ikaw nag-champion dito, Yats, malamang
Papalbo ka rin.
bukas, wag tayo pumunta doon. Huwag tayo
Tayo
pumunta
pumunta
doon.
doon.
Pero sinasabi ko, malamang maraming magpakalbo. Hanap
Malamang.
tayo ng ka-prop bet. Baka may gustong mag-prop bet sa mga kaibigan nating nanonood sa live stream.
Ako hindi pwede magpakalbo.
Ako rin, hindi pwede. Nagkabulutong ako, madami akong poknat sa ulo. Oh. Ayun. Oh, sino daw ang tatanggap ng hamon ni Yat Xavier pag nag-champion siya? Sinong gustong magpakalbo? Prop bet daw. Kaya lang, tingnan natin. Ayun. Oh, shoutout Bernie Angeles, Butch Bautista. Oh, what's happening? Huwag nang mag-flood dito sa ano. Mark Gamboa, paano nakikita agad yung card? Because this is now the innovation of the Metro card here. This is the RFID table. Kaya nakikita po may scanner yan, yung ating lamesa. At special cards ang ginagamit natin.
River card.
Kaya very sensitive yung mga cards na ginagamit yan.
Boss Joven, kaibigan mo ata to, Tony Perez Hernandez. Shoutout mo naman daw siya.
William check.
Tony Perez Hernandez.
Si ano yan? Si Kabayan.
Si
si
Kabayan.
Regular player dito.
Oo, dito sa Metro.
Magandang hapon sa'yo, Kabayan. Punta ka na rito. Marami tayong seat open dito. Pag-reserve na kita ng seat, ano bang blinds ang gusto mo? 5100
Teka
o
lang, ang
200?
ganda nitong action na to Sino nag-open ito? Williams Mael. Limped in. Is this a blind versus blind?
Yes. Blinds versus blinds.
Ako, banggaan na naman. Yats, kahapon, napanood mo rin yung banggaan itong dalawang to kahapon. Medyo
Oo.
nag-spew si Jeremy papunta kay William. Eto, mukhang tuloy pa rin ang banggaan nila. Sa flop, lead out si William, flat call si Jeremy. Turn check, bet si Jeremy 160. Call 160. Parang may similar action na to kagabi rin between di ba? kay Bamba tsaka kay
Kay
Jojo.
Jojo, yung jump
Oo.
bump ng
Oo.
ano.
Jeremy wins the pot.
Pero ito, what a gutsy move from Jeremy Catalig using his chips and his stack. Hindi siya natakot sa banggaan nila ni William, no?
Yun ang
So he's not
advantage mo pag nasa
intimidated.
posisyon ka talaga eh.
Oo, oo. Parang hirap gawin nun ah. Hindi ko ata kaya.
Kaya mo yan.
Hindi,
Ikaw ba?
hindi ata. Sa ganun, parang tapos actually sinasabi ko nga yan kanina. Si William, pag nakakamesa ko yan at nakikita ko malaki ang stock, intimidated ako dyan kay William. Isa sa mga players na intimidated ako pagka big stock. Kasi alam natin, maraming galaw,
Malawak yung range.
malawak ang range. Hindi ganun kadaling bluffin din yan. Kasi galing din magbasa ng action at ng texture ng board. So, props to Jeremy Catalig for pulling off that river bluff.
Ginamit niya yung position niya.
Oo. Eto, wala pa rin kumpay si Egoy Lagatos. Of course, lalo na ngayon na tinamaan siya ng 1,000,000 mahigit ni Alex Lai. Magiging aktibo. Parang common yun, Boss Joven, Yats, no? Pag mas ikaw, pag malaki stock mo, tinamaan ka, parang
Gusto mo na bawiin agad eh.
Makakuha agad.
gusto mong bawiin ka agad. Which is, sa akin nangyayari yon, downfall ko yun eh. Yung magpipilit akong bawiin yung
Nakuha sa'yo.
Parang yun yung leak nung game mo.
Oo, yun yung leak ng game ko na kahit ano, basta position folded sa akin, ire-raise ko. Anong ma-advise nyo? Especially marami rin sa mga nanonood sa atin probably have that same problem. Yats, ikaw muna. How do you combat that? Tinamaan ka ng masya, and I've seen you get hit ng malalaki, di ba? Anong ritual ang pwedeng gawin ng isang tournament grinder para to combat that?
Ako kasi madalas ginagawa ko, lumalabas ako eh.
Tumatayo ka
Tumatayo ako kahit isang hand, dalawang hand.
para lang i-remind, para makompose na ulit.
Kaysa nung nasa upuan ako, baka ganun yung magawa ko.
Baka ganun din, no? Magbilit ka rin naman. No? What about you, Boss Joven?
Ginagawa ko, minum ng tubig, hinga malalim, deep breath.
Pero hindi ka na tumatayo.
Hindi. Kasi
Ako-
pinagmamasdan ko pa rin yung galaw ng mesa eh.
Pero baka subukan kong gayahin sa susunod na tournament yung ritual ni
Yats.
Yats. Hindi yung magpakalbo yung tumayo pag tinamaan ako ng malaki. Kasi ganun nangyari sa akin ng day 1B. Tinamaan ako ng malaki ni Deck Cruz. Kaya nag-chip leader eh. The next
yung
hand, gusto kong bawiin.
Yung kwento mo sa amin.
Tumalon ako ng 7-8 suited. 30,000. Na-call ako ni Kuya Potoy. Ako yung flash draw sa flop, pero siya yung nag-flash sa dulo. So out ako. That's just one hand. Two hands after tamaan ako ni Deck. So siguro kung tumayo ako, baka naitapit ko pa yung 23.
Hindi, aabutan mo rin. 2 hands ka na wala eh. 2 hands lang eh, after 2 hands eh.
Oo nga eh. Oo, baka bumalik pa. Baka ganun talaga.
Abutan mo rin ng
Oo.
7-8.
Eto. Ayan, habang tingnan natin, Boss Job, na pag-uusapan kasi yung sa susunod na tournament. Of course, merong side event na nangyayari ngayon. Pero ang dami nagtatanong sa atin at nabanggit mo to kagabi, ano ba ang susunod na malaking tournament ni Metro?
Actually, this coming weekend, yung weekends natin na 250k with the buy-in 4,100.
300k na raw
Gagawin
yun.
na natin 300k.
Oo, yun.
Ngayong biyernes na yon.
Oo.
So day 1A is on Friday. Day 1B is on Saturday, and day 1C, the Turbo edition is the
Saturday night.
Saturday din.
So
7
same
o'clock.
day, oo. Kasi ang
Ang-
final day kagad niyan, linggo
Is
na.
Sunday. Dire-diretso na tayo ron.
So parang 2 araw lang. Very good ano
Yes.
yan, no? Format, 2 araw lang ang puhunan mo. to
Saka
grind 300K.
in-increase namin yung guaranteed na from 250 naging 300k.
Pero same buy-in
Same
pa
buy-in.
din. Wow.
Tapos after that, the following week, instead na 300, gagawin namin 500k. 500,000 guaranteed with a buy-in of 2,200.
Dinoble lang, no? Wow.
Yan yung mga weekend special natin.
All of our viewers, sanay kayo sa mga tournament, you know that this is bang for the buck. This is a very good value for money. 300,000 happening. Ito agad weekend na mangyayari, no? For only 1,100 buy-in. And then the next weekend, 500,000 for only 2,200 buy-ins. At Boss Job, alam ko for a fact, yung mga tournament na yun, kausap ko si Madam Maylene kanina, Advincula, our big boss dito sa Metro Card Club, operations manager, na sinab na mag part ng prize pool ng dalawang malaking weekend tournament na yan are actually main event seats
For the
sa
Batang Metro, which is happening on August 31 until September 5.
ikaw ang unang batang Metro technically. Di ba nagkaroon ng batang
Hindi ako.
ha? Hindi yung
Sa
yung
poster
mga
lang yata.
poster noon
Sa poster ginamit
eh.
si
Mga
ano.
ginamit
ano
yung
yun,
batang
mga-
Metro yung picture mo nung naka-Amerikana kang may coat.
Mga free roll yun.
Mga pre-roll ba yun?
Oo.
Oo.
Mga-
Pero nagagamit kasi na noon na yung mga term na batang,
Batang
metro.
Metro.
Ngayon na lang ginawang tournament. Oy, let's see a race from William Ismael, Queen 5 suited sa under the gun, folded to the button kay Alex Lai with Ace King of suit. Nakita natin lahat ng 3-bet, as sure na may 3-bet dito si Alex Lai, tinapunan siya ni Will, no? Ace high pa yon. So ito, alam, parang nahuhulaan ko na magiging
May
mga
tri-
magkano 3-bet mo dito, Yats? Sa race sa 220.
Kung si Will ang kalaban,
Oo.
ako baka mga 620.
620 plus 400.
Hmm.
Kasi
Hanggang
gusto mo,
700.
kasi gusto mo
Pag ako,
talaga
ah.
diinan because si Will ang ano, kasi alam mo yung
Madami siyang ide-depend kasi na
Oo.
talaga eh.
halos sa pareho kayo ng iniisip ni Alex Lai. Pareho ang thought process nyo. Alex Lai just 3-betted William to 720,000. His opening is 220. So 3-bet si Alex Lai ng 700. Halos pareho kayo ng thought process ni
Ikaw, Jester.
ano. Ako, baka all in ako dyan. Walang biro. Kasi
Dahil si Will.
intimidated
Dahil
ako
si
kay
Will.
Will eh. Oo eh.
Pero
Hindi ko
pag
ilalagay
si Will
sa
naman,
Will.
isip niya, tinipid siya ni Alex Lai, malakas yung baraha, di ba?
Oo.
Kasi solid player si
Ah,
Alex.
Solid player si Alex.
Okay, at as proven to, insta-fold si William Ismail. Hindi
Alas,
ako
di na
talaga. Ace King, at medyo malaki stock ni Will. Hindi, sabi ko sa'yo, pag ako intimidated sa player, very low ang percentage na dadaling kita sa post block. Kumbaga, sige na, deserve na kita kung meron. Kasi, well, kahit naman sa aces, hindi pa naman drawing dead ang ace king pre-flop. So, ikaw 3-bet ka to. Ikaw boss job kasi nagsakto eh.
3-bet din
ka
ako,
rin.
3-bet
Mga
din ako.
ganong amount din.
Mm. Minimum 640,000. Minimum yun sa akin.
Pero ngayon sinasanig, actually, ang isang leak ng game ko, at aminado naman ako sa lahat na ako sa before, yung 10 ko to overplay hands. Doon ako napapahamak eh. Yung, minsan, yung galaw kagabi ni Atos, galaw ko rin yun eh. Yung folded sa akin sa buton,
Jump siya ng
jam ako
King
eh.
8.
Oo. Galaw ko rin yun eh. So, ngayon yun ang kinokorek ko. Kesa mag-overplay ka ng jam, or ano, i-3-bet mo na lang. Pero laging, laging mabilis ang tibok ng puso ko pagka ganun ng action. Nararamdaman mo pa ba yon?
Oo naman.
Yung talagang medyo, yung ayaw mong pakita, siguro yung ayaw mong tell, baka ano ba, mabilis ba yung hinga, yung pag-angat ng dibdib ko, mabilis.
Kaya minsan pag may handa ako, naguhud ako. Para
Paano?
matago ko yung
Oo,
mga...
yung mga tell na pwede mong,
Oo.
physical tells na pwede mong, at malaking factor pa rin ba?
Lalo na pag
pag-uus-
magaling yung kalaban.
Oo. Ito ba, as we see this action, medyo wala pang... Factor pa ba rin ba sa inyo ang physical tells? Na nagagamit nyo pa rin ba yan at this day and age ng tournament?
Para sa akin, parang less na eh.
Less na. Hindi.
Sobrang less na, Bobby.
Sa action ka na talaga tumitingin, nagbabase.
Mm.
Bihira, wala nang... Yung iba yung titingnan mo pa. Di ba dati nun, uso pa yung tititigan mo sa mata? Di ba yung parang... Ang ano? So, bihira na. Ang alam kong... Parang nakikita ko medyo gumagamit pa ng madalas ng maraming ganyan. Well, nung nakaraang pagtatapat namin ni BJ Carbonel, parang trinibet ko siya ng hangin. Tagal niya nag-iisip sa river. Kinausap niya ako.
Okay.
Tinanong niya ako. Hindi ako sumasagot. Pero naisip ko, teka lang, sagutin ko kaya to. Parang tanong niya, parang ace ka talaga ganun. Papakita mo ba yan? Yung mga ganung basic na tanong. Nung nagbuka ako ng bibig, sumagot ako, antimano kumol siya. Bakit
Bluff
ganun?
ka?
Bluff ako eh. Sa river. River bet ako. Maganda naman yung bet ko, value bet. Anong
Ano
meron
sinabi
sa
mo sa kanya?
pagsasalita? Sabi
Bas,
ko, tanong ata niya, flash draw ka ba? Parang biniro ko rin siya ng, teka muna, titingnan ko baraha ko. Antimano, doon pa lang ako sa teka muna ata.
bilang call
Flash
siya.
draw ka, no? Miss flash draw ka?
Miss straight draw actually.
Ako naman.
Nag-message. So, ayun ba yung ano? Uy, teka lang, eto, nakita natin, this is a blind versus blind situation. Nag-complete na naman si Tiger. Pero I'm sure aware si William Ismael ng tightness ng laro ni Tiger, eh, no? So kahit 6 deuce offsuit ang barahan niya sa big blind, hindi niya ikakatok ata to. Pero ba, hindi siya nakakita ng instant fold kay Tiger. Maybe because connectors tong hawak niya.
Maybe.
Gusto niyang,
Wow.
wow,
Wow,
binalikan
all in.
siya. Yun, doon.
And all in by Tiger.
What a read ni Tiger sa galaw ni William Ismael. Of course, alam na natin ang gagawin ni William. Pero parang ang ano, no? Sa akin, ang risky nung galaw ni Tiger, no? Holding 10-9 offsuit. Kasi easily, William could have a legitimate hand. Nataon lang dito na 6-2. Okay, ayan. Sakto, andito na.
Papaalam muna ako sa inyo.
Kasi nakiusap lang ako kay Boss Joven na samahan tayo dito sa panel. Pero ngayon, ipapasok na natin. Kararating lang, ha? Ikaw
magsa-side
maglalaro.
event, di ba
Teka
na?
lang, mamaya ka na mag-side
Okay.
event. Samahan mo muna kami dahil i-interviewin ka nitong ipapasok natin sa panel. Mga kaibigan, joining us in the panel, replacing Boss Joven Huerta na magpapahinga sandali. Ito, pinakaantay nyo kasi kagabi medyo konti lang exposure. Ito, the Chief Mark Rivera of Metro Team Pro. Welcome to the panel. Good afternoon, Chief. Bati ka muna sa ating mga viewers.
Hello, good afternoon, viewers. Medyo na late ngayon kasi late din kami natapos kanina and I hope you're enjoying this coverage na offering ng Metro for the APC final table.
Ayun, oo. Chief, ewan ko kung nakamonitor ka on your way dito
Yes,
sa live stream.
nakamonitor
So
ako.
nakita mo yung resulta ng prop bet.
Yes, hindi ko nakita pa. Nakita ko na, sinend na kanina kasi
Sinend ko na sa kanya kanina.
ako yung una naningil sa kanya eh. Kung
Oo.
bayad na siya eh.
Nag-chat siya, tinanong, bayad ka na ba?
Well, anyway, I was also tuned in sa inyong mga ano kanina no regarding our final table composition. And we started with Alex Light being the shortest stack earlier. And alam nyo to see Alex, let's go back to the action first, no? I think the most important part of this coverage is the live
Yes.
yung hand ano.
Alam mo, Chief, ang masarap dito, ito na naman yung situation. Si William Ismael versus Jeremy Catalig. Yesterday pa to nagbabakbakan at kanina nakita natin yung galaw ni Jeremy Catalig. The same situation, the Battle of the Blinds na sa river, ginalawan niya si William. Pero ito,
As you can see, we have a gut shot straight draw for Jeremy na pag nakuha naman niya ay
higher straight.
higher straight, magiging
Si-
higher
si
straight si
William.
ano. But Jeremy is actually ahead with King High, no?
Ito kaya sadya ni Jeremy kasi nakita niya gaano ka-aggressive na play to si William. Ito ba parang meta game ng mga players na papakita ko sa yung hindi ako intimidated sa iyo.
Well, hindi lang naman 'yun. Meron din siyang outs and meron siyang King High which is possibly good since na-check yung flop. So he's expecting na wala pang pair si William dito, no?
Oo.
And it will be suspicious pag bumet si William dito because ang pwede niya lang tayan will be a pair. And unless he has a 7, baka dapat check na siya. So William gives up. And Jeremy will take down this spot with King High. Not only did he have a gotcha straight draw, but also possible best hand.
So ito of course I'm not kidding ta pero mahilig ako sa ganyan. So sa banggaan ni William at ni Jeremy, nasa 2-0 na sila.
So si Jeremy yung ano, no?
Kasi
Well,
kanina yung previous hand.
oo.
Binitan ni
Bumet
Race
sa
si
river.
Jeremy sa river ng hangin,
Parang
no?
nakita ko yung ano na yun. So miss nga si Jeremy yata doon
Oh,
with 10 deuce or
10 dus,
something.
oh.
And yun nga, kagaya na sinasabi mo, merong mga times na hindi na kailangan bitan, pero merong mga times na sa tingin niya, yung 10 high niya will be no good, which
Mm,
was correct
correct,
dahil Jack
oo.
high yata si Will doon
Yes,
sa
yes,
no. So he
oo.
cannot win the showdown, so therefore it's only advisable for him
Oo.
to bet.
So we're seeing also the
Now will
savviness, yung how savvy as a poker player to si Jeremy because by
yes.
default, if you look at that composition ng local players, si Jeremy yung parang pinaka inferior in terms of experience kasi you have
Maybe.
William Ismael, Alex Lai,
Yeah.
Egoy Lagatus,
Okay.
and who's the Etcha, di ba? So
Mm-mm.
parang dehado sa ano pero pinapakita niya kaya niya
So you
makipagsabayan.
see now we see a button race from Chairman Tiger,
Oo.
and
Ang dami
since
pa ring
this is
handi, ano?
since this ande cut off race pala si ano no.
Oo. Small blind ngayon. So, dealer button Williams Mel got out of the way. Now the action is with Jeremy Catali with
Was
pocket
sevens.
sevens.
Mhm.
Anong galaw niya kaya dito? Flat lang? Or
Pwede siyang
babalikan
flat
niya?
or pwede siyang mag 3 bet para hindi makapag-complete o para hindi makasilip si Alex.
Importante ba rito, Chief, Yats? Kasi nasa small blind si Jeremy. After this action, out of position na siya kay
Mhm.
Chairman Tiger.
Mhm.
Importante ba, does that affect if you will flat or 3 bet a
Well,
race?
platting is like getting your hand more like sevens, getting it more vulnerable pag isasama mo pa yung big blind. Kasi most
Oo.
often than not, pag merong playable hand yung big blind, mapapatad siya dyan. So, ang gusto mo dyan sa hand mo will be heads-up situation since kung halimbawa, apat na bara yung kalaban mo, malamang 4 overcards
For
ang kalaban
overcard
mo.
sila.
Oo, oo.
I don't know, yun yung ano ko.
Pero
Just like
nakita
what
mo yung
happened.
fold ni Alex Lai, no? Oo.
So that's what Jeremy did, no? He
Oo.
was able to,
Make Alex Lai fold his ace-10, which is a decent hand actually.
which is a
But of
better hand
course,
actually than
than
the
what
original
Chairman
racer.
Tiger has. Oh, but of course, Alex Lai can't really call with that hand considering that that was a 3 bet coming from Jeremy Catali.
And you know, it's a strong move to race with meron pang big blind dito sa dadaanan niya. So it indicates the strength of his hand.
Yes.
So baka sakaling mapafold niya si chairman din. Or
Je-
baka rin naman position race yung kay chairman.
Oo.
Although dito, syempre, kung nasa button si Will, pati si Will nire-race ni chairman eh. Therefore,
Oo.
meron din siyang playable hand
Of
or
course, hindi
racing
naman
hand.
siguro natin makikita yung move ni Chairman kanina kay Will na all-in ang balik niya, no?
Hindi na
With
siguro.
this hand, no? At especially nakikita niya gaano kalaki. Pero halos pareho ang stock ni Will at Chano. Pero kanina ang pinagkaiba, blinds versus blinds lang sila ni Will. Eto,
Et, ito ang kaya gustong-gusto laruin ni chairman yan because King 10 flaps very well
talaga
sa
ba?
ganyan. Yeah, of course, it's a suited connector with high cards, you know.
So, it would not be surprising if we see a call here ni
Yes,
Chairman.
it's a playable hand.
Teka lang nga,
Because ito naman eh kung hindi niya tatamaan, nasa position siya, so he can kagaya ng nabanggit ni Mike kahapon, yung position mas importante because for example, mag-flop ng overcards diyan sa 7 ni Jeremy, baka mahihirapan si Jeremy mag-proceed pag
nakakita na siya ng overcard sa flop.
or baka pag nakakita siya ng bet from chairman.
Ang worst case scenario lang nito for Chairman Lee, for Chairman Tiger, kung nilaro man niya to flat call siya at mag-flop ng King 7. Pero ito, mukhang bibitaw siya, mukhang hindi niya itutuloy kanina. Hawak niya ang chips pero sumilip siya
So,
ulit.
okay.
Ay, nga,
So-
hindi na niya tinuloy.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, because syempre yung tournament life niya ma-release dyan.
Malalagyan lang
oo.
natin. Ito, you are seeing right now the chip count. You see Jeremy Catalic improving his leadership with 6.9 million now. William Smell also improved. Ang nag-maintain lang medyo si si Egoy. Kasi nga naman, may tatlong players nang nabas out. So yung mga chips nilang kumalat na. And Alex Lai, now in the thick of things as far as chip count is concerned,
Yep.
even though he came in short stack. My question to you, right now, given this current short stack, 2 million ata yung pinakamalit, naka-spread out, all stack are effective against each other. Tama ba?
Yeah, because
Effective naman.
pag
Oo.
tama no. Pag halimbawa kasi merong na double up yung big stack na lesser stack, parang magpapalit sila ng
Ng
positions.
posisyon. Oo.
Yes. So they are proceeding as carefully as they can right now, I think.
Oo.
And Alex Lai is again at the bottom, but not as short as he was when he entered the final table.
Eto na naman, ang dami talagang bara nito ni Jeremy, no? Folded to the bottom, he's at the bottom position.
Hindi ko
With ace
masya.
10 of suit, this is something that definitely he will raise. As we see him did, ayan na.
Alex folds and George will maybe fold this hand. Dito magpo-proceed. Napansin ko rin kanina si Egoy.
Oo.
May mga medyo mabilis yung start niya, no? Medyo
Oo,
mabilis siya
same
nag-start,
aktibo kanina
no?
eh. Oo.
Medyo mga ace 7 yata siya na races which was successful. And being on Team Takayama, I'm sure kahapon meron tayong pinag-uusapan nila Mike tungkol sa pagkapino ng laro, no?
Oo.
I think after seeing this, baka medyo mai-educate ni Mike si
Egoy.
Egoy sa pagkapino ng laro. Siyempre si Egoy magaling din sigurado to dahil nakarating siya dyan.
Oo.
Baka konting pipinuhin na lang ni Mike yung laro niya kung sakaling kino-coach niya si Egoy or something. I'm sure iyon yung nagagawa ng ating RFID
Oo.
coverage ngayon.
Kasi-
No? Kasi hindi mo na kailangan magkwento anong hand mo, anong position.
Tama.
Kasi ito panonoorin mo na lang di ba?
Yun nga, ang ganda eh, di ba? May
Ganda.
yung mga players,
Alam na ni Choy agad
if you're
yung
lucky
nangyari.
enough, if you're lucky enough to make it to our TV table, magkakaroon ka ng stock videos ng mga galaw mo na pwede mong magamit para
Hindi mo lang maaaral yung mga kalaban, kundi pati sarili mo.
Yes.
Maaaral mo rin.
Yun, at pinag-uusapan nga natin, Chief, Yats, na kamakailan lang ang usapan is how to close a tournament. Parang maraming players ngayon ang gagaling magpalaki ng stock. Papasok
Tumitirik.
ng day 2, ang laki ng stock. Papasok ng final tee, ang laki ng stock ng final table. But how do you close it to win the tournament? Doon mas nagiging highlighted yung pagkapino, Chief, ng yung sinasabi mong pagpino ng laro, no? The polishing of your end game.
Let's go back to the action first, no? As we see Chairman hitting trips 3.
Trips.
Uh-huh.
This is an unraised spot, no? This is a
Mhm.
oo. Blind versus blind situation. Unraised spot.
So bet si Chairman tapos kumol si Egoy.
Ang
ng
plano
King
ba rito
High.
ni Egoy, i-represent niya yung 3 not knowing na hawak ni chairman, yung nire-represent niya?
Actually, ganito yan. Ang King High, dyan sa board na 733, is more often good. Kasi ang hirap tamaan yung board
niya.
dahil dalawang barahin
Yes.
tatamaan. So unless chairman has ace high, good ang King High ni Egoy. Kaya siya kumol. So bibigyan niya talaga ng isang call si Egoy.
Ayun, we see Egoy firing a bet sa river
And
that
chairman raising.
flat called, no?
No, I
Hindi niya
think...
binalikan
Ah,
niya.
tama. Kumol lang ba si
Kumol
chairman?
lang eh. Nag-map na si
okay.
ano. Kasi inisip din ni chairman siguro, kung ako tumaman trust, baka lang that small chance na may trust din siya.
Actually,
Why would he flat sa river?
hindi yun ang hindi ko kasi most players baka mag-raise
Balikan eh,
doon.
no?
Yun na ang difference ng mga players, no? Kung paano nyo nare-realize yung value ng barahan natin.
Oo.
So if there's a hand that you think you can raise at makakakuha ka ng call, then it's but prudent to raise the hand for value. Ang importante lang doon is if in case bumalik sa yung kalaban,
Yun
you
ang
have to
sunod
have
kong
the
tanong eh.
discipline to know that you have the worst hand and you have to make the
But that
great
particular hand, I hit trips.
playdowns.
I hit trips with a mediocre kicker.
Mhm. Actually, it's
the,
not mediocre. 4 kicker is like no kicker. It only beats a 2 kicker, which is
oh,
ano lang eh, chop
Definitely a
na.
chop.
okay na, ganun na kasama.
Oo.
But the action is, the small blind, si Egoy, bet, if I raise him,
Mhm.
and he 3-bet shove me and put me all in, do I fold my 3?
It's up to you to decide.
Pero
It's
kung
up to you to
ikaw,
decide.
hindi, I'm asking you if you're in that situation and that was the move. Let's say
Well,
ginawa mo
we
talaga.
assess the situation, no? Titignan natin kung ano ba ang i-raise niya sa'yo. Is he racing with kasi you made a strong race on the river.
Mm.
Okay? Uh, Pagkatapos, binalikan ka pa niya. So, it's possible na talo yung baraha mo pag gano'n.
So you'd fold?
I might fold. So, if I decide to raise and I get raised back, I have to have the discipline to fold. Because unless ang basa niya sa'yo is binabluff mo siya at nire-rebluff ka niya, that's the only time na you can
So hindi siya ganun kadali. You have to assess the situation,
Yes,
the
oo.
player against which.
Sabi nga nila sa Pilipinas daw, pag binalikan ka pa ng ganun, malamang nuts. Parang
Malamang
narinig
nuts
ko
na,
yan kay
oo.
Kulot nung isang araw.
Oo. Teka lang, ito we see this
Yes,
developing pot dito. Both players hitting the 7,
Mhm.
pero Chairman Tiger has the better kicker and that kicker is in play dito sa board na to. The action is on him now. Hindi, nag-check na siya. So, he's checking to call probably dito sa ano na to.
Chairman will call this.
Will bet.
Although mahihirapan siya sa 10 dyan because yung gut shot straight do tumama sa 10 eh. So
Oo.
kung merong 10, 9, 10, 8, 8, 9,
9.
lahat yan tumama.
Oo.
So ang tatalunin iniisip ni chairman na baka 10 ang tinamaan ni William
Oo.
kaya siya tumaya.
Magkano yung bet ni Will? 380,000 to a pot of 500.
Mhm. But actually I think Will is betting for value. Baka nilalagay niya sa 6 si
Oo.
chairman na pwedeng kumul ng 6.
At mukhang makaka-call because Chairman is sitting at a relatively good stock at 3.5 million and is being asked to put in 380 more to this pot of almost half a million. So yun ang iniisip
So
niya.
chairman is the only KMGM member
Remaining,
left,
yes.
no?
At first KMGM back-to-back final table yan. Huwag yung inaano.
Last time wala siya.
APC.
Actually, APC 1 siya nag-final table.
Hindi, last APC.
Talaga ba?
Oo, final table siya.
Oh, are you sure?
Back-to-back yan, yes. Kasali siya. Kasi
Kasama
kinover
nila
natin.
Mike?
Oo.
Okay.
Chairman. Kasi remember, yung last APC wala pa yung first APC wala pa tayong RFID table na. This is the third edition of the
So nakita
APC.
mo na siya doon sa final table. Yeah, okay.
Did he call? Yes, it did.
Mm-hmm.
And took down the pot.
With the higher kicker.
Tiger takes down the pot with 2-7.
So,
Paalam muna ako sa inyo, ha?
ayun, sige.
Nakita na ba yan sa camera?
Nakita na sa camera.
Oo.
Pagdating na pagdating.
Alright,
Sige.
thank you,
Maglaro
Jimmy
muna tayo sa side
Xavier,
event.
member of
Oo,
the Meta
kasi
Team Pro,
lalaro pa
for
siya
your
sa side
insights
event.
and good luck sa iyong pagsali. He is joining the side event, yung monster stock that's happening right now, and we're
Yes.
inviting you if you want to join this very good structure of a side event tournament, Chief. That's you're coming in with 35,000 in chips as a starting
Yes.
stack, buy-in of 22,000. So you can just imagine how good the prize pool that will be made out of this side event. And registration is open up until the end of level 9 before the start of level 10. Or end of level 10. Hold on. Let me double check that information for you. I have the structure here.
Dual check, you're checking the structure. We were talking about the Korean contingents kanina, apat-apat,
Ang
parang
ganda ng simula
laban.
nito, yung
no?
even eh.
So, syempre, ang niroroot natin dito as Filipinos, syempre, yung mga Filipino players natin. However, kung Korea naman ang mag-champion, it will also bring good things for us because
Oo.
we can invite more Koreans to
An-
come in the next APC just
Katulad
in
nga ng
case.
sinabi ni Boss Joven, baka lalong manggigil ang mga Korean kasi sabi
Kung
ko,
Pilipino mananalo,
yes,
baka lalo manggigil. Kung Korea naman manalo, makikita nila na they can win also in this
yes,
kind of event. Kasi last APC natin, medyo dominated natin
dominated,
sila eh.
oo.
So
Kasi
ngayon,
alam,
pantay na sa final table.
right,
So,
because napansin ko, yung field ngayon ng mga Korean that came in, medyo just by asking around, medyo ang daming mga players at talagang accomplished poker players. Like
mhm,
Wan Seong Il, yung nag-final table din na isa. So,
mhm.
I'm sure it's I'm sure usapan din nila, teka lang, this is the third edition. We try
Mhm.
to take down one crown for going back to Korea,
Yeah,
no?
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So here, this last hand, nag-check si William trapping, no? So
Tumaya ba
baka
si Jeremy?
hindi siya tumaya, he hit the 7, so may value siya. So actually 10-7
Pumair
siya.
siya, oh. Kaya nga tinanong ko. Pero
Wow.
kasi, parang elementary yung board. That's a one card straight eh. Yung board eh.
Yes.
So,
Oo.
nai-add.
But pero sa history nila, it's possible na pwedeng tayaan din ni
Oo.
ano yun, ni Jeremy. No?
Oo.
But then he opted to check kasi nga nagdelikado na yung board.
Pero parang by default ata, miski nakikita ko sa mga recreational players, even if they hit two pairs but the board is a no-brainer of a one card straight, one card flush,
Mhm.
if you have position and it gets checked to you, like 99% of the time they check back,
Mhm.
parang obvious din sa kanila na wag nang maging speculative pa o
Or
adventurous pa with that hand.
Or you can also bet if you know that your opponent is always hero calling you or tingin niya sa'yo nang bluff ka, di ba?
Maganda
Baka
rin.
yun yung mga pwedeng betan ng mga ng mga aggressive players
Yes.
na hindi nilalagay sa barahan ng mga kalaban. Eh.
Oo.
So hini-hero call. Even me, I hero call a lot of aggressive players when I have value kasi most pag merong mga
Parang nung bounty ba yan? Nung bounty, I remember, your hand with, may speech ka pa eh. May
one time lang
Bulaga,
to.
one time lang to
Yeah,
eh.
yeah.
Oo. You
Pwede
looked
kong
him up,
i-discuss yung ano na yan. Ang hand kasi na yun was a 6-6-3 if I remember correct. 6-3-3 or 6-6-3, something like that. So ang bara ko ay 8-5. No?
Yes.
So I bet the flop, kumol si
Si Duroy pa
Duroy.
kalaban mo.
Sa heads up na yun
Oo,
actually.
oo.
So 6-6-3, umit ako sa, ako ang original, ako ang nag-raise na, ako nag-open.
Mm-mm.
And pagkatapos tumaya ako, kumol siya, check kami turn, river, nag-lead out siya. So kaya ako kumol nun kasi nilagay ko siya sa straight draw
Sa
and
may
I beat
straight draw.
all straight draws I beat. Nag-contemplate lang ako kasi may 5 ako. And then
You're
also if
beating
you
the four deuce combo.
all
Yun
straight
ang
combos
basa
na
ni-
tinatalo ko.
yun ang
Kasi
basa ni
nag-flash
Yuri.
kasi yung river nun, tapos tumaya siya. So hindi ko siya nilagay sa flash kasi flash draw is a strong hand na i-raise niya dapat sa
Sa flop.
flop bet ko. And then hindi ko rin siya nilagay sa flash dahil medyo malaki yung taya niya sa river. Almost, I mean, 3/4 size of the pot yata yan. So,
So yun
I
ang
was
example
putting
ng
him on
mga
a bluff.
sinasabi mo, you'd follow. Ayun, as you were explaining that, we just saw William Ismael, naka 2-1 na siya because Jeremy actually hit bottom pair and William wala. But ang naiba dito, chinek niya. Check lang siya ng check kay Jeremy. So siguro si Jeremy naisip niya, ba't ako chinecheck dito? Parang inaantay ako.
Tinatrap
tumaya.
niya.
Tinatrap
Siguro
ako.
baka syempre kino-consider din nila na meron na ring infos ang isa't isa
Oo.
sa mga barahan na nilaro kanina. So Will might be getting the information na ina-outplay niya si
Oo.
William. That's why Jeremy is slowing down now. But of course, depende yan kung paano sila mag-adjust a little later. Kung sakali sa mga succeeding hands nila. Although Jeremy has the advantage of position, that's why Will is trying to maybe trap him or check call him.
Eto, just to clarify, Chief, I announced earlier na end of level 9. Actually, the late registration for our side event that's happening right now, the Monster Slot, is actually at the end of level 10. So plenty of time for you to join. Come here at the Metro. If you don't want to play the side event, the cash game action, this early, kanina umikot ako, Chief. ang
Mm.
ganda na kagad. So,
Maaga pa. Ha?
oo, kasi yung ating mga Korean friends who participated in the main event, siguro they want to get some cash game action before they fly out, no?
Actually, kaya inagahan ang side event ngayon. If you notice, it's supposed to start at 1 p.m. It's
Mm.
because hinahabol pa ng ibang Korean members yung last side
Oo.
event bago sila lumipad siguro mamayang gabi or ano,
Eto Chief, the current blinds with a raise of 2.2 ni Chairman
chairman.
Tiger with King
Yes.
9 suited.
And
Nako,
they will be both hitting.
medyo masakit to para kay Egoy. I'm sure
But good for
mag-repeat
him,
siya.
merong alas dyan. So,
Oo.
kung sakali, syempre, nasa range ni chairman yung alas. So,
Pero knowing him, he
he
will
will give
yeah,
him one
oo,
call and
one
will
call.
check the turn. I mean, titingnan niya sa turn
Anong
kung ano
gagawin sa
yung
turn?
mangyayari. No?
Six of spades.
Pabor din kaya kay Egoy na may alas at si Chairman
Yes.
actually wala naman. Will this stop Chairman dito na sa turn?
It can also stop chairman, but the way Egoy called, siguro hindi nilalagay ni chairman sa ace kasi parang
Check, check, check. Actually, pareho silang may showdown value. Pag nag-check ba to sa river, check behind na rin to si...
yes,
Oo.
check si chairman.
And Tiger shows, he checks and shows.
Yun, tama no. So check behind na rin sila. So minimal lang ang tama kay Egoy. But again, that continues his bleed from 3.6 earlier starting this stack. Tumalon pa siya ng medyo nag-4 pa siya because of early aggressiveness. Now he is down at 1.6 million. So tuloy na tuloy yung pag-i-spew na ng chips dito, Chief, no?
Yeah.
Ito ba isang bagay na to less experienced player? Kasi sa akin nangyayari to eh. Ang laki ng stock ko, bigla ko na lang napansin, konti na lang, parang
Merong big stock syndrome na tinatawag eh. Meron kang maraming chips, parang ayaw mo mabawasan. Yun yung sabi nila, tawag nila doon, big
parang
stock
nangyayari
syndrome.
sa akin yan. Parang ayokong matamaan, gusto ko lang
Yes.
siya i-preserve hanggang konti
Oo,
na lang
kasi
ang
lalo na
players.
kung halimbawa, chine-check mo yung average stock, tapos titignan mo kung hanggang ganitong number of players, okay pa yung stock ko. So parang nag-ano ka,
Nagdi-defensive play ka.
nagde-defensive play ka. Pero ang tamang gawin talaga dyan is the more stock you have to play more hands. The less stock you have to play less and more tight.
Yan lang, may sulat yan sa notebook.
Re-reviewin na lang. Reviewin na lang natin tong coverage.
Papanoorin na lang to.
Tingnan natin kung yung mga
Pero
napapag-usapan
playing
natin
more
pwedeng
hands,
i-apply.
but of course, playing more hands, you have to really be careful because that can also result to spewing chips. Like probably what's happening with Egoy ngayon is I think comparatively in this final table, he has played more hands than the others. And right now, he is spewing chips and down to the bottom of the chip count.
Well, you see, when you are the chip leader, you have this parang power. Hindi ka sasalubungin ng mga barahan na
Mediocre, manipis.
mediocre,
oo.
manipis dahil they will be risking their tournament life. As we noticed dito sa coverages natin, we see a lot of better hands folded by lesser stacks kasi nga they tend to play tighter against the chip leaders.
The chip leaders.
That's the reason why you have to play more hands because you will be
More often, you're taking down pots,
yes,
no?
oo. So we see, oh my god.
Alright, oo. Nako,
Dito
ito.
nag-lead out si chairman sa flop, no? And then
Call si...
kumol si Will,
Will.
nilook up pa niya, no? But I don't see Will proceeding dito sa hand na to kasi talagang chinek lang niya kung ano yung tinatayan. So as you can see, lahat ng straight draws tumama sa 5. Kung yun yung tinatayan ni chairman, kung may 10 si chairman, behind pa rin siya. So baka i-give up niya na to.
Oo.
Kasi wala namang ibang draw eh, di ba?
And rightfully so. Ayan, nakita nga natin. Nakatulong kay chairman na actually tumama siya sa turn. He spiked that 5. Kasi kung hindi niya na-spike yung 5, do you think it'd still fire another bullet?
Like
Baka
what
check
turn
mo.
are you talking about?
Like nothing that helps him, like a paint card.
A paint card will help Will. So if it's a queen, they get more action because tataya ulit si chairman and Will have an open-ended straight draw. So it depends. Kaya kumol din si Will is because meron 10 sa board.
May 10.
Meron siyang king jack, so anything that hits a card that near the 10 will give him equity dun sa succeeding.
Yung ginawa ni Will, yun yung
Standard yan.
tamang tawag natin ng float.
Standard yan. Yan ang float.
Yun ang float,
Yun yung
di
float.
ba? Pag-uusapan namin mga kaibigan,
Perfect.
what is how do you use properly the term float? Pinapaliwanag sa akin kanina ni Chief Yung float ka, yung wala ka talagang tinamaan sa
Wala
board.
kang tinamaan.
Pag may tinamaan ka, wag niyo sabihin na float ko yung kicker ko.
Oo, float ko yung bottom pair ko. Hindi ka
May
pa-float.
tinamaan ka so hindi ka
Oo.
nagpo-float.
It's possible you have the best hand.
Yeah,
diba?
so we're helping you para you can use also, during this coverage, you will use also the proper terms and understand the terms being used during a poker tournament or in a poker table. As we see, Jeremy Katalig under the gun. He is still the chip leader with 6.4 million, racing with Ace-7 suited diamond. Ito yung sinasabi mong you play more hands because more often than not, you're taking down the dead money, no?
Mhm. So si Jeremy na yung chip leader natin at
Oo.
6.4 million.
Actually, maski naman pumasok, nag-start to, siya pa rin talaga.
Okay.
He started with 5 million.
I remember Will taking the chip lead earlier after he won the hand against the Kings and
Yes, yes,
Ace
yes.
King. So we noticed earlier na si Will maraming beses siya na 3-bet sa mga initial races
Yes,
niya,
at
di ba?
bumitaw siya, no?
Bumitaw siya. That also tells us what kind of a player Will has
Yes.
become, no?
Oo.
So naghintay lang siya just like what we noticed with Lester and Mike kagabi na talagang patient sila in the initial part ng final table. So that's what Will also did earlier and then by the time na nakakuha siya na ng Kings, nag-merit naman
Oo.
yung kanyang patience and
Alam mo,
siguro
Chief, itong katatapos pa lang na handa, this is one of the many heads-up clash itong dalawang to. Ever since yesterday, actually, bigyan kita ng brief background between these two. Magka-table sila yesterday. Jeremy was sitting on 3 million and then tinamaan siya ng tinamaan ni Will. Banggaan din sila ng banggaan yesterday. To the point na bumaksak sa 1 million yan si Jeremy. The hand that saved him was that he got aces versus Kyle Magbanwa. At in-overplay niya yung aces niya. Kyle Magbanwa raised. He 3-bet shove Kyle Magbanwa with aces ng malaking stack. So, hindi masyadong familiar si Kyle sa gameplay ni Jeremy sa profile. Kyle Magbanwa called him with pocket tens. Malaki rin yung stack ni Kyle, almost 1 million. That nakabawi si Jeremy doon. And then one hand, another with, I forgot the player, yung pocket deuce niya, hit set, another big pot. Kaya siya pumasok
okay.
naka-recover siya, pumasok siya sa final table with the chip lead. Actually, nagkikwentuhan kami
ni
ni Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Sabi niya, sabi ko, tinamaan ka ng dalawa no na oo, hindi ko na alam ang gagawin ko, na ano na ako.
Oo.
Sabi niya, nahilo na siya, buti naka-recover siya, good recovery for Jeremy Katani. Pero ito, the reason why I mention it, kasi nakikita ko dito, banggaan pa rin sila ng banggaan.
Alam mo, si Kyle is a good friend of Will.
Will, yes.
Yes. Baka may personalan din, ha? Konti.
Or that can
No,
be,
I don't think
or
so.
talagang si Will, kasi si Will, ang tingin ko lang, ang size up ko sa kanyang gameplay, especially coming in with a big stack, he really, if given a chance, he wants to dominate this table. And maybe, Jeremy Katalig, not so familiar with the gameplay of Will,
Okay.
perplex siya because
Teka,
Jeremy had
Sorry to
given him-
interrupt
Oo.
you. Itong last hand na to, nakita natin, tumaya si Will and Jeremy Cole.
Oo.
So, yung sinasabi mo na banggaan nila was evident in that hand na
oo,
talagang
diba?
kukol si Jeremy sa kanya kahit chop lang ang
Yes. Parang
kukulin.
William Ismael ngayon, na I think Jeremy is posing a challenge to him
Aha.
na parang naluluck up mo ko, natatamaan mo ko, nananalo ka. Gusto niyang ma-overcome yun. And si Jeremy naman, alam kong siguro, alam na niya, nagtantan siya, ikaw ang pinaka-threat dito sa lamesa to my big stack. Hindi kita, sasabayan kita.
Yes.
Parang
also.
ganun ang metagame nila ngayon.
Although, kung halimbawa, matatapat yun dun sa mas experienced player, kesa kumol ka ng chop-chop, baka mas pwedeng erase mo
Raise mo,
siya.
di ba? Yun yung sinasabi mo lagi sa akin eh. Kesa mag-hero call ka, mag-hero race ka na lang.
Oo, kaya nung ginawa ko na hero call kay Duroy, dapat yun, erase ko.
In-hero race
Oo.
mo na lang siya. Di ba?
Aha.
Ayan, eto.
Okay, now we have a hand raised by Egoy. So si Egoy merong A7 which is ace high.
Naku po, eto na.
However, unfortunately for him, merong pocket 10 si Jeremy.
And knowing and seeing how Jeremy have played yung mga ganyan niyang baraha, that's an automatic 3-bet from Jeremy Katali.
Or baka, yeah, 3-bet possibly kasi check niya pa kung anong ano ni... Pero ang maganda niyang gawin dito is si all-in eh.
Talaga ba?
Yes. Kasi parang palalabasin niya, ninanakaw niya
Yun
lang.
nga, parang narinig ka ni Jeremy.
Bluff by advice.
In-all-in na niya si Egoy. And I don't see Egoy being able to call that shove for his
Tingnan natin,
tournament
no?
life.
Kasi merong factor yung pagiging chip leader ni Jeremy. So, baka i-consider ni Ego ito since meron siyang
Isipin
A7.
niyang ahead siya sa tinulak ni Jeremy with A7 of
Yes,
suit.
oo. Kasi pwedeng tumulak ng King Queen, King Jack, yun yung mga King Highs na iniisip ni Egoy or even Ace Rag kung sakali.
Sa bagay, kanina we've seen Egoy called with Ace-4 off do sa Korean. Kaya niya nabust out yung Korean. The Korean had him dominated in Ace-King but he out-flopped the Korean 4 on the flop. So, ayun, buti. Pero parang ayaw pa niya.
May 1.3 million pa siya, so
Anong naisip niya doon? Naisip niya kaya
meron
ang
siyang
payout?
13 big lines pa.
Tsaka naisip pa niya kaya ang payout?
Well, naisip niya na pwedeng dominated yung barahan niya with a higher ace kay Jeremy. So, mahirap ma-dominate sa final sa all-inan eh, no?
So tuloy pa rin, ang dami pa rin bara. At sabi nga natin, dami pa rin bara ni Jeremy. Kasi yesterday, I think, makikita ko siya, may aces siya eh. Parang 4 ata o 5 aces niya yesterday.
Actually, malaking factor yung premium hands sa final table, no? So, kadalasan yung mga may premium hands na marami, yun yung talagang, just like kagabi, parang ang pagkaalala ko sa final table, si Lester maraming premium hands eh.
Yes.
And the difference between the players getting the premium hands is how to maximize when you have those hands. So si Lester, sigurado mama-maximize na yun, having the experience and all, no? And yun yung sinasabi natin na mga bet for value, knowing that you will get called. Like for example, yung binatan niya na queen pair na diniscuss no, bakit kinol ni Bam, di ba? Na-discuss din natin yon. So nalalaman mo yung value ng bara mo, na ma-maximize mo. And dito baka
Ito, as we see, an all-in
with chairman to kasi
from
short
Egoy
stock si Egoy.
Lagatos, with 1.6 million versus the open rate ni Chairman Tiger. Pero Chairman Tiger is sitting on almost 5 million in stock.
So
he
malamang
might,
call niya
yes,
to.
oo. Kasi at least yung tatlong Koreans na out na out ng Filipino players, sa isip din ni Chairman Tiger, makabawi man lang.
Makapag-out siya ng Pinoy.
Sa Pinoy. Ako na lang, the lone Korean standing in this final table of 5 players. Chairman Tiger, the top guy also of KMGM, the Korea Mind Game members group, who have collaborated with Metro Card Club to bring you this 20 million guaranteed Asia Poker Championship that again for the 3rd edition we have smashed that guarantee.
Considering na maraming problema sa Korea, kahit papano naitawid natin to, no?
Yes, oo.
Meron silang baha sa Seoul, meron silang COVID situations kaya hindi nakakarating yung iba. So, bawas pa to kung
mukhang mas
tutusin.
malala ang COVID situation nila doon kumpara dito sa
No,
atin.
masama ngayon. Chairman folded, ah.
Oh, he did.
Oh. Chairman folded.
Pero
So, ayaw
leaning
niya
talaga si
i-double up
Chairman,
ito.
leaning talaga sa tighter gameplay, eh, no?
Yeah,
Si
siguro ayaw niya ring mabawasan yung
Ayaw
stock
niyang
niya.
matamaan, now that he's enjoying. So, he's saving it for
And
him.
he showed.
Yung kanya.
Parang nag-advertise siya na that he's playing tight.
Oo, that's playing tight. Pero we've seen him shove 9-10 offsuit kanina kay William
Yes,
Smith in that
blinds
blind
versus blinds because he saw that as a steal from so ni-re-steal niya yon.
At doon
And-
nakakatulong sa kanya yung kanyang tight image na pinoproject niya ngayon sa table.
And also kung sakaling makulan siya ni Will ng mga ace high, wag lang ace 9, ace 10 yon. Malamang live cards pa rin naman siya kung sakali. And medyo sa button ngayon si Alex, medyo hindi pa natin nakikita yung ano ni Alex
Oo,
Lai,
na
no?
ginapin,
Oh. Now
ano,
talking about ano ngayon nagkabara siya, no? Let's talk more about Alex Lai. Ako halos araw-araw ako dito, no?
oo,
So nakikita ko yung mga nagfa-final table sa daily tournaments, and Alex Lai maybe
consistently
is one of the most consistent dito sa final table ng daily
ng daily
tournaments.
tournaments.
Yeah. Hindi ko lang sure, baka dyan niya rin nakuha yung seat niya for the main event playing the daily tournaments, no? So
Malamang, malamang.
it
Oo.
goes to show what the daily tournaments here in
True, that's
Metro
true. Oh, can do for you.
can
Those
do for
people
you
are
as
asking.
a player.
Oh, I see a lot. I hear a lot of local players saying, "Ay, ang mahal naman ng buy-in ng ano, sana makalaro din kami."
Mhm.
There is actually a
A
way for
way,
you to do
yes.
that without
Mm.
risking or exposing that much of financial resource, no, money for
That's
you.
why our banter is the home of Philippine champions, because this is where we create Philippine champions,
That's
starting
correct.
from daily
From daily
tournaments and
tournaments.
stepping up for the weekly. And we have the monthly tournaments, which is an alternate of an international and the local event.
Yes,
Batang
oo.
Metro, APC, and then another local event, which is RVS, and then
RBS Cup.
APC again. Yun
Mm.
yung program na sinet natin dito sa Metro, no? As we see,
Jeremy Catalig with Ace King offsuit under the gun. This is a definite race from our chip leader. Tsaka ako nagtatanong ka, how to be William Ismael, Mark Rivera, Mike Takayama, Lester Edong, Jojo Tech. You start by grinding the daily tournaments. That's how
mhm,
you get better.
yes.
Pero ito,
Alam mo,
pocket 4 for Egoy Lagatos, Chief.
paka-shove niya to, no? Kasi,
Oo.
ano,
Well, he's actually ahead of the Ace King of
oh.
pero hindi niya ginawa. Wow, ayaw pa talaga niya, no?
So, hindi natin alam, baka na bigyan na rin ng instructions or notes ni Team Takayama, etong si Egoy, kaya medyo pumipino yung laro niya,
Oo.
no?
Eto,
So,
you're seeing the aggression frequency in the final table. Jeremy Catalig just slightly ahead
mhm.
of William
Chairman.
Ismael. At silang dalawang nagbabanggaan kanina pa. Baka kaya nakalamang ng konti ng 1 point si Jeremy Catalig kasi ni-raise niya yung huling hand natin.
Aha.
Oo, so makikita mo and running third si Egoy. Pero makikita mo, the top 2 stack chip leaders sa table are the ones with the most or the highest frequency of aggression
Mhm.
dito sa final table.
Parang lamang na yata si Chairman. Hindi, na
Oo. Pangatlo pa rin si
halos
Chairman.
halos same ya, pero halos same sila ni Will,
Balikatan na
ano?
sila ni Will.
Oo.
Eto with ace 4. Okay.
So we see Egoy folding with force because he was facing a race earlier,
Right.
but now he
Folded
has
to him.
ace 4.
Yes.
Oh, so yung aggression is more important than ano, no?
That's correct. Oo.
So kasi pag inolin mo, posibleng manalo ka without the showdown. Pero pag meron ng initial race, kailangan mas careful ka sa pag-proceed
Oo.
sa
At habang nagantay tayo, batiin lang natin ang ating mga live stream viewers. Ang dami nila, Chief. We're almost at 4,200 now. Eko
talaga.
Binosa, magandang hapon. Boss Job and Boss Jeff. Kanina pa to eh. Bing Bing Moy Musta. Just a job. Jeff Cruz here. Shout out sa'yo. Art 9. Boss Job, wala na kay ito. Champ Chua. Jared Santos, shout out. Armando Rocabo, shout out sa'yo. Yan, Randall Chua, kay Yats, Justin Joseph. Okay. Eko Binosa, Jared Santos. Okay. Shout out Martin Eldama. Shout out sa Pure Gold Kainta. Ano meron sa Pure Gold Kainta? Christopher Passion, pa-shout out po sa Team Pure Gold. Oh. Sige, kayo ata magkakasama. Kiel Cruz, shout out sa'yo. Seth Aranilla, shout out from Columbus, Ohio, USA. Miss your club, my wife was a former VIP server at Metro Card Club. Will be back again next year. Maabot na tayo ng mga Ohio, Canada, Dubai. Diba? So we go back to the action here sa ating final table. Alex Lai, blind versus blind call with 9 deuce offsuit. We're not seeing Jeremy Catalig's hand. Parang out of character yung call na yun ni Alex Lai with
Yes,
a polarized
nine
hand.
deuce,
Whole cards
So we might be seeing Alex Lai
Making will
possibly planning to make a move here, no? Titignan lang
Ito
natin.
bang window niya sa flop? Can he represent this ace? Because
Yes, he
he
can.
called the race, eh? Oh.
Yeah. It's more of Jeremy's
Range being the
range
racer,
being
oh.
the racer. But then he gives up.
And Alex Lai folds, Jeremy takes down the pot.
So, okay.
Actually, 120 to call si Alex Lies. That's why he
Kaya
decided
sinilip
to
niya, no?
sumilip siya.
Baka nga naman magdalawang dos, dalawang nuebe, nine at deuce, two
And,
pairs.
and being
But that's
nasa
the most
position.
that he'd want to continue playing that hand, no? To probably flop a two pair.
Flop a pair even. So,
Would he be adventurous flopping a pair? Would he
yes.
have that confidence also?
Kasi having the tight image din, alam niya na hindi makaproceed si Jeremy unless he has a strong
All right,
hand.
a change on the chip leader here on the table. Well, the chip leader is still the same.
Sabi ni Chop Shua, matinding mag-focus siya at kitang-kita sa post ng
Second in chip
Well,
now is Tiger.
abangan nyo kasi makikita natin kung talagang swerte ang new look na pinasimulan ni Champ Lester Edok ng High Roller kagabi. The
Let's see.
no-hair look.
Oo.
Ito, folded.
So we
Reaction
expect
folded
William
to
to
the
be
cut of
racing
William's
here.
man.
Yeah.
We'll probably see him race. Pero
Oh.
hindi ba? Ayaw, pahinga muna siya.
Galing ah.
Pahinga muna siya. At pahinga din.
Ano nangyari?
Jerry, uncharacteristic ace from these two players. Now with the most aggression, folding ace high hole cards. Pahinga, may mga ganun, no? Pahiyang. Baka na-tempo lang. Pero ace 6, chip leader ka sa pulon.
Hindi ko sure ah. Una yung fold ni
Wow, oh, ito. Blind versus blind again. Ganun ang pasahan nila, no? Well, king high naman kasi. Pero race si Alex Lai. I mean, this is a player that has gained a lot of respect early on from William Ismael. Kasi alam nila kung gaano ka-tight ang gameplay ni Alex Lai. Pero ito, baliwala yung kay Egoy Lagatos, no? Nirasan mo ko, i-dead money kita, babalikan kita ng shop. Shop lang talagang option dito, no? Ni Egoy, no? 3-bet, 3-bet, hindi eh.
Possibly alam nila kung paano naglalaro si
Si
Alex
Oo.
Lai being the tightest
Yes.
tightest playing
And
on the table
may fold
siguro.
equity siya. I don't see Alex can call here because that will severely cripple him if he lose this spot. 1.7 and 1.4 to call siya. So I don't see him being able to call this. Pero ang tagal niyang pinag-iisipan.
Kasi na-raise niya 250 no?
So bakit niya pinag-iisipan to? Nilalagay niya sa total hangin. Ito yung kasabihan na even though you think you're ahead, your nothing has to beat your opponent's nothing.
Well, with 5 players, Queen Jack is not really that bad. Kaya nga niya ni-raise eh.
Sabagay.
However, facing an all-in,
Oo, di ba? Parang
yun, maririnig natin si Boss JM ng Cebu.
oo.
Na nanonood din kanina yan, alam ko.
Alam mo kung bakit? Kasi may binili siyang action. Kay
He has a
Egoy.
piece of Egoy.
Oo, may piece siya kay Ego.
Oo.
So kahapon pa siya nagre-rail kay Egoy kasi ang panalo ni Egoy ay panalo din niya. And I think several action takers because I was talking to Egoy earlier and I asked him, did you sell action? And he said he did. He sold actually 70% of his action. Sabi ko, oh, that's okay. 30% still big if you win this tournament. That's 30% of 5.4 million.
Yeah, plus may markup malamang yung 70%
Yes,
niya. So he's getting like possibly mga 40 to 50% pa rin.
Tapos Jeremy, as we see Jeremy Katalig, hold it to him in the cut of racing with suited connectors. Action now on the small blind. Egoy, Lagatos, pero wala, no? 8 minutes. Tingnan natin. Will the big blind, Chairman Tiger, like King 5 to defend this big blind? Nag-call lang pala, hindi nag-raise si Jeremy. Okay. So on race spot to, the flop actually favoring Jeremy at this point. Why would you bet?
Actually, it favors Jeremy. Actually, ahead pa rin ng King High si Chairman. No? So, pag bet niya dyan, pwedeng kumol pa rin si Chairman dyan kasi pwede pa yung good ang king high eh. So baka hindi niya nilalagay si
And tiger
Jeremy, but he
fold,
decides to
Jeremy takes
fold.
Yeah.
one.
So there you can see the power of the big stack.
Oo.
So even if chairman has the better hand, napapa-fold niya si...
Oo. Si Jeremy
Mm,
napapafold niya si
Players
chairman.
of table 12, please adapt to your seats.
So yan, if you have just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, this live stream, we're bringing to you live the final table of the main event of the Asia Poker Championship happening right now here at the Metro Card Club in Ortigas, the home of the Philippine Poker Champions in collaboration with KMGM, the Korea Mind Game members. Last 5 players out of a field of 502. You're seeing the last 5 players, 4 Filipinos and 1 Korean, the lone ranger in this final table. Chairman Tiger, the top guy of KMGM, who is the who is actually a back-to-back final tablist here in the main event. So rightfully so, no? Top guy carrying the colors
yes,
for the Korean delegation here
it's
in our main event. As we see action folded to him, contemplating on Queen 9 off. Ano ba to? Blind versus blind ulit sila. So, kanina yung blind versus blind nila, nagka-uwi sa race si William, pero 3-bet shove si Tiger with 9-10 offsuit. So, let's see the action, how it will unfold here now that they are back in the same situation.
So we see chairman thinking of racing here.
Palagay ko, oo. Kasi magtatagal ba siya para kumol lang?
And the
Did he
blinds are
go
up
all
to the
in?
monster stack. Monster
Oh.
stack,
Wow, wow,
9
wow, wow. Nako, tapos
Blinds are at
nagsingain.
200, 400,
Buti
and
na lang.
400.
May ganun siyang galaw, no?
May-
What do we call it? Do we call it the hot sauce? Joke lang,
Alam mo,
kaibigan natin
ang-
yan.
Kung nandyan nga si Hatsus, gusto ko rin siyang para
Isama
naman may
dito,
depensa
oo.
naman niya yung
Yung
ano
kanya,
niya,
oo.
yung side niya kasi one-sided lang yung mga naring natin.
Oo.
Kagaya niyan.
Tsaka gusto
More-
natin kuhaan ng insight. Ako, I would love to have hot sauce
Yes. So
insights in
kung
this
nakikinig si
gameplay.
Hatsus ngayon,
Oo,
we're inviting
accomplished
you to
pieces.
come over. And
Regardless
also big time.
Yeah,
Kung
regardless
nakikinig.
of the moves that we've seen him play, Hassas remains
Yes.
to be one of the more accomplished player. This is the lone PPWC champion, hindi na nasundan. That big event in ano and
Sino si
RVS
Richard? Si
champion.
Hatsus?
Oh,
RVS Cup champion.
RVS
is-
Cup champion.
oo.
Celebrity
So-
poker champion.
So, nakikriticize siya doon sa mga ganong moves. Pero, minsan lang naman yun
Oo, di ba?
more
Mahuli
often
na
than
siya
not,
minsan.
successful
Yes,
yun.
that's
Siyempre, ang
correct.
matatandaan lang ng mga tao, yung mga hindi
Oo.
successful na
Yes,
nakatapak,
oo.
kumbaga na
Kasi-
tinatawag.
Kasi yun lang ang masarap pagkantsawan. Pero ito, Chief, Alex
Yeah.
Lai opening with Ace-7 off for 250. We're definitely seeing a 3-bet. Will he 3-bet or will he go all in again? Chairman Tiger.
Since nasa button siya and he has a very strong hand, baka i-3-bet lang niya yan. Or, baka pwede niya ring i-balance ang range niya ng shoving and
Yes.
yung mga
Oo.
bluff shoves niya. No? Pwede niya rin gawin yung all-in dahil baka hindi na siya nilalagay. And baka rin mga naka-review na yung mga hands niya kanina from pero nag-3-bet lang siya. So,
That's
since
a
nasa button,
120.
Tiger,
gusto niya ng value no, sa hand niya. It's too
Ay,
strong.
50 nga pala to, sorry. 50 nga pala.
But-
Itong pink.
but-
Wow. Oh my God. This
And
is
Alex is very lucky to get away in this
Yes.
hand.
definitely Alex can get away with this hand. Kasi I don't think will Jeremy contemplate a flat call here with Ace King.
I think he will shove. Or, I don't know.
But knowing his gameplay, baka
With his stack, it's
4-bet
possible
shove siya
is
rito.
4-bet
Oo,
shove.
4-bet shove siya dito. Pero isipin din niya, take into consideration the current stock of chairman. That's 4.1 million to his 7.8. That's gonna be a big hit if he loses this hand.
4-bet shove or
Flat.
4-bet to possibly around 1.3 million or so.
Pero knowing his gameplay, I wouldn't be surprised with a flat here.
Talaga ba?
Oo,
And
knowing his game
Jeremy
na yan, as
Cole.
we see. Oh, pinaplat niya tong mga
Now
ace-king
back
eh.
to the original
Lalo na kung big
racer,
blind. Kung
Alex
nakita niyang
Lyon.
maliit lang, kung stock lang ng mga 1 million, baka 2 million, baka ishove pa niya. But may fold equity sa kanya yung possible na hit na 4 eh. So
And
ayun,
Alex Lyon
nakaalis pa
folds.
rin. Gusto muna
And
niyang
you see a
tumama.
flop heads up between Tiger and
Yeah,
Jeremy.
na mukhang tama ka dun sa stock size niya binase, no? So
Oo.
medyo
Flop.
na
Three of spades, ace of hearts,
There
two
you
of
go.
clubs. Check
Pero
to
yun ang
Jeremy.
problema natin, Chief. Lagi
On
sinasabi,
Tiger.
pag flinat mo yan, hindi mo na mapapatawag yung pocket queen. Baka wala ka ng mapiga.
kasi ano yun eh, parang hindsight yun eh, no? Kasi
Oo.
hindi ka naman sigurado na tatama ka eh. Eh
Oo.
paano kung halimbawa ang reverse naman nun eh, paano pag di ka tumama? Di sana na nakawala ka sa
Oo,
ace king
oo,
mo, di
yun.
ba?
Ang hirap ng mga decision.
Yeah,
Ang,
of
ang
course.
ano eh, no?
Although, tignan natin dito kung it will favor
Ito, all in
him
ang
sa
balik dito
decision.
ni Jeremy. Palagay
I
ko.
don't think so.
And Tiger bets 400,000.
Sa gameplay ni Jeremy, hula ko lang. Talaga ba?
Tingin ko lang
450,000.
hindi.
Bet by Tiger.
Kasi lahat naman ng ace talo niya eh. So why
Sabagay.
would he raise? Diba?
Sabagay.
Did he?
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Definitely
So
hindi to flat.
we're not
Hindi to flat knowing ano.
By Jeremy.
so you know him more than me, no?
Hindi to flat.
1 million.
Did he raise 1 million?
Yeah,
Oh.
1M.
So parang ano lang, no? And chairman,
Talaga ba, chairman? At dumudukot si chairman.
and he
then
called.
call.
He will still look it up. Hoping to spike the set.
No. He's thinking na baka good yung ano niya. Si tumaya siya ng 450 na raise siya 1 million. So 550 to call. So he wanted to look up na baka
Ito, taya dito ng heavy. Baka 2M. Kano?
pero ito inahatid na siya. Kung baga hinahatid na siya ni
Oo.
Jeremy, no? 1 million ulit
1M
yung taya
ulit.
niya. Oo.
And Jeremy bets
Hindi
1
pa ba
million.
maniniwala si Chairman Tiger dyan?
Mm. So iniisip ni chairman kung anong barahan ni Jeremy siguro, kung anong ace niya. 'Di ba?
Mm-mm.
Although
Kung
possible
ace or
naman.
baka lower pair, the factor pa ba sa kanya? Will he still be able to range Jeremy's flat call to his, the 3-bet to his original raise as a, ano?
Ang mahirap dito yung parang hindi pakawalan ni chairman yung queens niya, no?
Mm-mm.
Kahit na may ace na dyan, iniisip niya parang yan lang ang barahan na tatamaan ni Jeremy sa hand na yan. So,
Oo.
it's less likely na merong deuce tsaka 3 si pocket 3 pwede. Pero sa 3-bet kasi ni chairman, pocket 3 supposed to fold.
Yes.
And wala namang deuce combo si
Yes,
Jeremy
si Jeremy
supposedly
dito
dyan. So,
sa action
tingin
na
niya, ace lang ang talo niya talaga, no? But then, syempre, tinribet niya. So, ace is really a bad hand for him. Bad card pala. I mean,
Wala, bitaw nga. Para lang kasi ang hirap bumitaw ng pocket queens.
actually, kaya niya kinol yung 550. Syempre, ilo-look up pa niya si Jeremy.
And
Titingnan
he's
niya
trying
ito.
to get something out of Jeremy, trying to talk to Jeremy, get a better feel of what he has.
Mhm.
He's trying to, I don't know if Jeremy will oblige him with a reply, pero he's trying to get something out of Jeremy.
But this is 100% alam na ni Jeremy na panalo siya, no?
Well, judging from the way he's betting now, he's convinced that he's ahead already.
Hindi na siya natatakot din sa barahan ni chairman kasi alam niya 2 or 3 outer na lang si
That's
chairman.
correct. Oo. Alam mo, itong ganitong tagal ni chairman, may galaw yan, nakita ko before. Tagal niyang nag-tank tapos announce siya all-in.
No.
Walang
Talaga
biro,
ba?
may nakita ko sa kanyang galaw. Pero
Well,
I don't
siguro
know.
yan yung tinitignan niya. Tinitignan niya yung physical tell na pinag-uusapan nyo kanina na
Pero ito, he
naghanap
let
siya.
go and
Well,
showed
yeah.
queens. He let go and showed queens and Jeremy obliged him by showing his
Oh,
hand.
he showed his hand.
Oo, ace king.
Possibly, ang pinag-usapan nila, will you show if I fold? Baka
Yeah,
yun
baka
yung
ganun.
kanilang ano.
So, very good pot taken down by Jeremy. 1.9 million pot. Padded his chip lead now. Chip stack now to 9.9. As we see, ayan, nakita natin na magpapalit tayo ng dealer. Would like to give a shout out to all the men and women of Metro Card Club at
Yes,
this point for
ito.
a very
Yes, oo.
job well done for this entire uh,
Alam, mm,
series.
alam nyo, ito yung mga real heroes ng
That's true.
ating, ano,
Oo.
ng
Lalo na yung si Betcha,
ating
bukod sa
card room.
pagiging dealer, Chief, ano yan, entrepreneur yan. Meron
Yes,
siyang online store and physical store.
Sarapen.
Invent na natin Sarapen. Ayan.
Sarapen.
Actually, yung mga product ng Sarapen ngayon are options now for players playing here at Metro Card Club. When you ask for menu,
Nasa menu
you
na
can
rin.
ask the menu of Sarapen. May list na siya. At
Yeah,
ang
oh.
specialty nito, Chief, crispy kare-kare.
Yes, oo, natikman ko nga rin yan. No?
Ang
Masarap
sarap.
yan.
Oo.
So, meron tayong sarapin, meron din tayong Papa Chups.
Papa Chups naman yan.
Yes,
Oo. Pag,
oo.
after a long grind, at ito ang Papa Chups nagiging unofficial place to celebrate kasi nung nag-champion si Mike Takayama, nag-celebrate siya sa Papa Chups. Ha? At maraming mga players pag nag-champion. So, shout out. Ha? If you want to get in touch with Papa Chups, you may look up. Yan, nandyan yung mga tataon Papa Chups. You have Geneva, you have Chuck Peregrino, you have Chops Chua na napaka-aktibong nanonood sa atin ngayon dito sa ating live stream. As we see players taking a break, let's take that opportunity to shout out yung ating mga nanonood sa live stream.
May
Red
shoutout
Mateo.
din ako.
Sinong shoutout mo? Sige.
Ang shoutout ko rin, dahil nabanggit mo na rin yung Papa Chups, is yung Black Scoop Cafe.
Uy!
Malapit
basa ba
na.
ulit?
Yun naman ay mag-open na hopefully this week.
Yun doon pala sa same spot?
Sa same spot, yeah.
Yun.
Mag-open na rin yun. So, bago kayo pumunta sa Metro, syempre, daan kayo ron.
Yan
Kasi
ang
doon
inaantay
tatambay
natin.
ang mga
Doon tumatambay
Metro
naman ang
players
mga
natin.
mananabas ng Metro.
Oo.
Black Scoop sa totoo lang ito walang biro. I've tried Starbucks, I've tried Black Scoop. Mas gusto ko ang Black Scoop. Mas gusto ko ang timpla nila ng yung sweetness ng mga drinks. Oo.
Okay.
So wag na kayong
And may mga milk tea,
Black
milk-
Scoop na kayo.
May mga milk tea tayo na hindi na offer din sa kabila.
Sa Black Scoop Cafe, dyan ho yan sa front part ng Metro. If you're coming into the Metro from Meralco Avenue, malaki yan, makikita nyo kaagad.
And
Black Scoop Cafe.
It's a cool place to hang out
Yes,
also.
ang ganda ng ambience. So, there you go. Shout out to this. That's a good sign when these businesses that we used to patronize at Tambayan, nagbabalik na at
Actually,
magbubukas na.
nag-sponsor dati yun dito ng
Oo.
sa natin, conference
Pagka-conference
na.
lagi tayo may Black Scoop. Yan na nga
tayo,
namimiss natin.
nagpapadalang
Babalik
management
na
ng
pala.
Black Scoop. Yes, okay.
So malamang next APC,
May Black Scoop na tayo.
Dito,
Oo.
ayan.
Pero bawal sa'yo kasi bawal
May
sugar.
maintenance ako, nakaano ako.
Pwede?
Metformin. Paminsan-minsan lang naman.
Okay.
Eto, Denrick Remando. Oy, Boss Balot, shout out sa'yo. Eco Vinosa, yan. Ten Slagman, ayan. Idol Yachts, G-side na yan. Shout out kay Boss Ten Slagman, isa sa mga action buyer natin yan dito. At palagi rin dito sa Metro Card Club. Shout out sa iyo, big boss ng G-side. JM Tan, shout out to you, Yachts. Ayan. Ito, Aristedes Habson, shout out sa iyo. Ayan, Chuck Peregrino, shout out. Mark Gamboa, shout out din. Jack Santiago, pang-ilan si Edgar Asehan at Takayama. Edgar Asehan, si Mike I don't know with Edgar kung nag-ITM siya. But Mike Takayama
50
actually
plus
nag-in the money and busted out at around 50. 50 siya, nasa 50.
Pa-shoutout din kay Tom Saludes.
Yon, shout out Tom Saludes. 53rd. 53rd si Mike. Si Edgar, di ko pa siya makita. But we'll check later. Richard Magaro. Oy, Boss Richard Magaro. Shout out
Boss
sa iyo.
Richard.
Magtag Nyob Maro. Shout out kay Japet Manalo. Na pangarap ding maging FT commentator. Ay, bisitahin nyo kami dito. Ayun. PJ Aratea, shout out sa'yo. Kenzo Mendoza, Eman Sigismundo, Yatsab Jar, pa-shout out kay Konkon ng Team Apero, pinakamasarap na lechon. Talaga ba? Okay. Okay. Okay, Kenzo. Seth Ramilio. Hello, Mark. My wife always said you were her favorite player when she served the VIP room. Jessica Sumampong Ramilio. Nare-recall mo ba to? Oo, si Jessica. Yes. Mm. Yeah, iba talaga. I've talked to several VIP players. The reason why they keep coming back here sa Metro because hindi lang yung action. Of course, the first reason, Chief, naman talaga is the action, which Metro, truth to be told, has a lot of, especially coming off the pandemic, but also the quality of service that being provided
Oo,
sa mga
nakamute
VIP
pala ako
players.
kanina, no?
Oo, balikan mo yung kay
Yung
kay
kay server si
Jessica
Jessica,
Ramillo.
oo,
Shout out.
yan ang isa sa mga real heroes dito sa Metro kasi ang service natin sa VIP players, yung alagang Metro na tinatawag natin dito sa Metro, iba especially sa VIP. No?
Mm, okay. Okay, yan. Shout out sa aking mahal na kaibigan na Boss Willie Ablola. Actually, si Boss Willie Ablola, isa siya sa mga players who took advantage that option to come in ng day 2.
Day 2.
Oo, pasok siya day 2. Sabi ko, anong ginawa mo? 40,000 starting stock.
Si
Person
Daddy
ko,
Willie ba yan?
Daddy Willie, oh.
Oh,
Inolin
actually,
niya ng inolin. Lumaki siya. He made to final day 3.
totoo ba?
Nag 800,000 siyang stock.
Oh, okay.
Oo.
Actually, si Daddy Will, meron kaming hand niyan na nung day 1 e-turbo
Mm.
towards the end. Kasi ako nakapasok ako 80,000 something eh.
Mm.
So halos same starting stock kami, nagkaulinan kami, top pair siya, tapos open-ended straight draw ko.
Mm.
So I got lucky and hit my straight. Pagkatapos, na-out siya. So he was
Oo.
talking of entering sa day 2 na lang kasi
Mm.
patapos na yung day, day 1E.
Oh, at nag-in the money siya. Maganda yung
Oo,
payout
see?
niya.
So-
Medyo deep yung run niya.
So, yun nga no, kahit na yung bagong ano natin ngayon sa structure is you can enter day 2. So we're still thinking if we can improve that na baka lagyan pa natin ng another level of registration sa day 2 para may chance pa rin or kasi kung halimbawa nalagyan natin day 2 registration kasi ito for day 2 eh. So kung nilagyan natin ng time pa, like for example, one more level sa day 2, baka mas lumaki pa yung prize pool natin. And we're thinking of adding more starting stock from
Oo.
40 to 50,000 to make it more playable sa day 2 and more players might want to register for day 2.
Oo. Eto, tuloy natin. Shoutout. Shoutout sa mga players natin from Cebu. Arthur Bagkat. Ayun. Jericho Palibles. Shoutout kay Jojo Lat. Alright. Okay. Kenzo. Kikoy Gonzales yung nag-comment din about sige. Jolas Guerrero, shoutout sa iyo. Okay, Go Revolver Kid. Shoutout din sa iyo. Okay, Harry Passion pa shoutout. Nice aim kay Williams Mael ako. Marco Veray, go Williams Mael. Ito shoutout din, Ian Marcos. Shoutout sa iyo, nanonood siya. Watching from Newport World Resorts. Oh, balik ka na naman dyan ha. Good luck sa paghagis ng Eric Pinyan, shoutout. Rodrigo Javinar Enriquez, shoutout din sa iyo. Yan. Williard Waki Arca, oh, shoutout sa iyo. Yan, Eric Pinyon, Corel Muza, shoutout watching from Egypt. Corey Muza. Okay, shoutout to our international audience. as we have advised earlier, well, because we know that there are international, that we have an international audience for this live stream, we'll really try to bring you the action in the English language. But of course, equally following this live stream are our local players who would rather have it in the Filipino language. So we'll try to go back and forth, bring it to you in English, both in English and the Filipino language.
Baka sa susunod, meron na tayong, anong tawag doon?
Ano yung, ano ba yun?
Translator,
Subtitle.
subtitle
Mm.
translator.
Oo. Actually, sa YouTube
Oo,
ata may automatic ngayon na caption. Eto, Tina Argao, pa-shoutout birthday ko. Happy, talaga ba?
Oh,
Alam ni Chico
Tinapay,
kailan ang
happy
birthday mo.
birthday.
Birthday ba talaga niya ngayon?
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy
Sabi
birthday,
niya.
Tina. Tinapay, Tina Argao. Okay. Oh, Ryan Mangune, shout out. Ryan Mangune from Pampanga. O mga kabalin natin dyan.
Yes,
Sa Pampanga, shout out. Okay. Okay, ayan. May mga bumabati din. Kay Maria Argao ng
Marami
happy
tayong
birthday.
kaibigan dyan sa Pampanga. Pinangungunahan ng ating butihing Mayor Buddy Dungkas.
Yes. Oo. A very staunch supporter and patron of poker, no?
Yes,
For
oo.
Mayor Buddy Dungka. Shoutout po sa inyo, Mayor, pag napanood nyo itong live stream na to. At ang gusto ko kay Mayor Buddy, although hindi niya ako kilala personally, hindi pa kami nagkakaroon ng chance sa mga kilala, pero idol ko yan, gusto ko talagang makilala
Oo,
yan.
idol
Kasi
yan.
alam mo ba't ko idol yan? Ang gaganda ng line yan ng bullies, yung
Yeah.
yung
Oo.
ano aso.
Oo.
Ang gaganda ng line yan. Kaya idol ko yan. Sana po, Mayor Buddy, dumating ang panahon at pagkakataon na makilala ko rin po kayo at makilala nyo si Tira Pasok.
Yeah.
Dapat
Sige.
yun.
Sigurado
Okay,
yan.
oo.
Papasyal minsan ngayon, masyadong busy yan eh.
Oo nga eh, busy. JC Core, you should do live cash game to. Ang ganda nitong comment na to, Chief.
Yan ang isa sa mga plano natin, ano? Isa sa mga programa natin. We're just inaano pa natin, ini-improve pa natin to para pag ready na dyan. Magkakaroon tayo ng parang live at the bike and yung mga ini-stream din sa US, mga hustler.
Yes,
So
that's
magkakaroon tayo ng versions. Ang plano natin dito is 100, 200 cash game na stream natin dito.
Oo, parang Metro After Dark.
Yan, oo. Hindi
Metro Live.
Metro Live. Yeah, tama ka. Metro After or something like that. Iniisipan pa natin ang title.
Oo,
No?
but definitely, abangan nyo po, that is in the pipeline of all the plans of Metro to promote the sport that we love. Not only to bring you the tournament action, but also the cash game action. Because as we all know, those two go hand in hand. No? Since Metro is one of those card game that really, aside from, because people might have that old school notion that it's gambling, but Metro has been in the forefront of promoting responsible gambling.
Yes,
And
oo.
plus,
Kasi
if you talk to us poker players, we will always argue with you that poker
It's a skill
not,
game.
is not really gambling because
Mhm.
there's just very small percentage that you have to rely on luck.
Yes.
Because there's a system. The game can be beat if you study hard enough.
Actually, it was discussed once by... Oh, sorry.
No.
Ay, Ron.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was discussed once by a good friend, Dennis Gamboa, no? How to identify a skill game and a luck luck
talaga
game.
ba?
Oo. Sabi niya, ang skill game is if you can intentionally lose. So if you can intentionally lose, then it's a skill game.
Why would you intentionally lose in a poker card game?
Because on the contrary, you can also win without having the benefit of drawing the
You
best
don't
hand.
need the other cards.
So parang ang blackjack is a skill game. Kaya maraming nababan sa blackjack
Oo,
sa
because
casino.
there's a system.
Yes, and you can intentionally lose in blackjack. So
Oo.
hit ka ng hit ng hit ng hit, syempre matatalo ka.
Oo.
So therefore, ibig sabihin, meron ding factor yung malalaman mo kung kailan ka mag-hit, therefore making it a skill game
It's a
also.
very good point to expound. No,
Mm.
well,
All
but as we see,
multistream for the
Chief,
mental
no, ito
health
as
and
we see
confidentiality
the
fully.
players coming back after
Then
this break, he will
Restream.
take this chance. Ito na po mga kaibigan, ang dami rin nagtatanong at hinahanap siya kanina pa. At sinabi ko nga medyo naipit siya. But we will welcome to our panel. Makikita nyo, ito na po ang isang innovation namin. We can now have a three-man panel dito sa atin. We'll welcome one of the premier early nang nagsisimula pa lang ang poker
Order
dito
of the
sa
race for
Pilipinas,
Michael
Chip. Ito ang
and
isa
David
sa mga
Bernardes.
nagtaguyod ng sport natin, one of the early local poker coaches that we have. We'd like to welcome into the panel Ron, Coach Reggie. Sayang, bumati ka muna at magpaliwanag. Ang
We
galing
present
na ano.
chip count
Oo,
for
ba't ka nakamask? Oo.
final
Well,
five
good
players
afternoon. Good to
have
catch the tail end of
entered
this
with
final
1,900,000
table
chips.
coverage.
It's still the middle actually.
Actually, because we
Dead
started
end pa rin.
players were down to five. Actually, we're
Yeah,
still
nga.
down to five.
Oo.
So we've just lost three players. Did we? Yeah, three players. I'm sure somehow, Coach, you have followed our live stream as much as you can. And you're aware of the composition. This final eight actually started four players from Korea, equally four players from the Philippines. We've lost the three players. We have Chairman Tiger, a back-to-back final tablist. Di ba?
Yes,
Naalala
yeah,
mo?
he's the only other Korean who also made it in the first APC when we did this. I have been
The
monitoring
first.
the first one where Mike won.
Hindi, that's the second already.
Well, technically the second, but the first one he streamed.
First
Yeah, the
three.
first one.
Yeah. First one
Yeah,
stream.
I was monitoring traffic. Had to enroll the children in school.
Yeah.
So tayo nag-aaral ng poker, but the kids have to go to regular school.
Before
So I had to
they
take care of
before
that.
they learn poker.
Before they
At least finish high school, and then if they want to play poker, we'll send them to Metro.
Yeah,
Buti may plus 2 years na high school ngayon.
Oo nga, iba yung pinapausapan eh. But okay, quickly before we resume this, your quick thoughts on the players remaining right now in the past action, if you have.
Just interesting to know. Well, not as big as the names we saw last night, but still some big names there. Just William Ismail, and of course, Chief mentioned Alex Lai being a veteran of the dailies, which can work for him, but also against him because they know him a little bit better than they might know someone like Tiger, for example.
As we see Egoy Lagatos with Ace Jack, and I was already thinking that he'd do this, announcing all-in opening with the shove under the gun Ace Jack. I'm sure players will view this as a very strong move considering, no? Let's see if some of the players will have, mukhang hindi. So this will be. Actually, Alex Lai read my book.
What is your book?
Because in my book, the first chapter, coming from a break, regardless of the hands
Yeah,
you
shove
have,
whatever you
shove
have.
whatever you have. Ay, sorry, Alex Lai.
No, but
Egoy Lagatos.
and that's pretty big shove, not
Yeah.
cheap. 20 big blinds,
Yeah.
so it's like I just wanna take a pot and
Yeah,
and
maybe it's a
tread water.
factor that Egoy Lagatos started this final table with 3.6, even increase it a little bit because he was very active in the early part of the final table. And in the latter part, prior leading to this break and this hand, he spewed a lot of this that he lost. He's down to the bottom now with 1.6. So from almost 4 million, is down to actually 1.6.
I see this a lot, Chief. I also feel this a lot. No matter how healthy your chip stack is, if my mind is on what I lost, on where I was like 10 minutes, 15 minutes ago,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how healthy my chip stack is. I might play as if I'm already losing.
Yes,
So
correct.
I'm playing to gain back chips that I don't really own anymore.
Yeah, that's also a topic like earlier on when we were saying that this is also probably a leak in my game. Pagka big stack ako and tinamaan ako,
just
parang
want it
ang
back.
gusto mo kaagad mabawi yung nawala sa'yo. That's probably what happened to me day 1B of this main event, coming into the last. As we go back to this, eto na naman, Jeremy Catalig raised to 500,000. Alex Lai actually has a hand that he can probably 3-bet shove.
No, with the stack that he has.
He will pop.
And that's what he did
And with 800
And
to call,
I've seen Jeremy call with this
it's
hand.
possible because it's 800 to call.
Yeah, given the
And
stack,
yes,
yeah,
he has
the stack.
9.3 million.
Jeremy actually is an this is a businessman. It's not really a daily grinder.
Mhm.
He's actually involved in he has a brokerage
Oh,
business.
really? Hindi
Yeah,
ako
Jeremy.
masyadong familiar sa
Yeah, he's not.
kanya.
He's actually not a regular yet Metro because he
Oh,
lives far. He's more of a player in other
okay.
cards.
But he plays
But
regularly also.
regularly, yes, he does.
Especially tournaments, no?
Especially tournaments, yes. But he also plays cash game. Actually, I think he's wild playing cash game because yeah, he plays cash game. But maybe now that he gets this much success and run deep in Metro, he will start trying out the cash games here at Metro. I don't know lang kung saan siya nakatira, but he must be living far. So, but anyway, the drive is always worth it. I live far from Metro, and the drive is always worth it. So let's see, will he call this?
It still seems hard to call because if you want to call with Queen 10, you're putting the opponent on a range of nines below.
Yes,
Yeah.
you have to
You have
put
to take
them.
out all the ace kings, ace
That's
Which
queens.
is
true.
actually the case.
It just happens to be
Which
the
he
Yeah,
doesn't know
really
is actually the case right now.
exact
And
read
that's
for
what-
him to call with Queen 10.
The reason why he's contemplating also is baka dominated yung hand niya with
That's true.
King,
Yeah,
Queen,
and
Ace 10
ace
or
queen,
something
ace
like
king,
that.
all of that you have to wish it was gone.
So
Yeah.
we can see also the quality of play of Jeremy. He's not really careless just because he has a
Yes.
big stack. He actually
Ah.
considers, but you see him pushing his chips.
And
So
now
we
with
will
the
now
Nice for Alex Lai.
Alex Lai in Queen Owen first tournament
Two
live.
overcards for Jeremy. So
Exactly,
that's
two
the
overcards.
Two overcards. Here we go. Cheer for your players, of course. Let's go to the block.
release daw, so 10
That's a 10.
tumama.
Yes, it's a 10.
Block.
Oh, release ang kailangan pala.
Now he got a gut shot to call it. With the queen at 10 or the king.
Yes.
Any of those hands will
Or running clubs.
win this spot. Oh yeah, running clubs.
Third card is a queen.
So that makes him ahead.
For a queen.
I see a cheer.
Pero, wala naman.
Now the two outs.
Alex for a 9. Let's see the river card.
Okay, Alex Lai, the first Filipino casualty of this final table, exiting fifth place. Okay, exiting at fifth place and taking home with him 840,000. 840,000. So pay jump now. We have officially as I was saying, we coach and chief, we have with the exit of Alex Lai, we have officially entered the 1 million payout. First place is assured of 1.2 million.
Okay.
All right.
Mga
And
millionaires
third
nata.
place is 1.8. That's a 600,000 pay jump. Second place is 2.9. That's a lot of pay jump. And the champion will take home 5.4 million.
Okay.
Yeah. So, eto na. All of these four players are millionaires now, assured of that million payout, and still alive is the lone Korean player, Chairman Tiger, as we resume the action. Eto, Coach William Ismael will see us threes under the gun on a four-handed table. This is a definite win.
I see him winning this whole thing.
That's also the common notion. Pero ito, ewan ko, nasubaybayan mo. They have been clashing. He had been clashing with Jeremy Katalig, our chief leader. Since yesterday pa yan. Yung clash na yan. And Jeremy proving a formidable opponent for William. Kita mo naman, eto, pasok ulit
It
yan.
looks like foreshadowing for what could be the heads-up match that people
Yes.
will be looking forward to.
Ah.
But of course, Tiger is still in there. Although he lost a lot of chips earlier
Yeah.
with that queen's hand, but he's still in there.
King 10 off, folded action. I mean, sorry. Action now on Egoy Lagatus. He will let go of that.
I think nga, na-save nga yung tournament life ni Chairman with that hand because most players will be shoving with Ace King in that spot. And unless the river was a queen, which we don't know,
Yeah,
Chairman could have been possibly out of this tournament.
that's correct. Oo.
Ito,
Ito ang nag-open nito, si William. Ha? Is this, okay. Early position raise under the gun versus a cut-off call from Jeremy. We see William.
Actually, I think there's a dead button or a dead blind because they're
okay.
four-handed. There shouldn't be an under the gun anymore. It's just gonna be hijack button blinds
Yes.
from
Jack,
this
tama
point on.
ka. That's a good observation, coach, no? Pero ito, we see that quick fold ni Jeremy, which is in the past that would have been, he tends to look up yung mga flop bet na yan ni William.
Isa pa.
Is this probably, coach, ito na yung stage of the tournament that Jeremy realizes he has a massive stat. He can actually afford to let the players with the lower side na magbanggaan ng mga galaw nila.
I don't know him well enough to know if he's thinking that way, but we have seen that pros like Mike Takayama, when they get a big stack, they don't do that. They push it and they take care of
They really
business
continue
themselves.
to grind.
They don't let other people do their dirty work.
Alright. And mukhang ganun din si Jeremy as we see him opening this action with the race with King Jack off. Egoy Lagatos with an ace-10, a hand that he can probably 3-bet shove Jeremy with.
Which
and
he
that's
did.
actually what he
Yeah,
did.
it seems
Ayan.
the simplest way for him to do
Eh,
it.
teka
Oh my
lang.
God.
Wow.
Chairman has Ace King.
Chairman Tiger waking up with Ace King. He can also probably come in.
I mean, if you could see the whole cards, he dominates them
Yes.
both. So this
But
is a spot
I think it's coming into.
great spot for him.
I think he will even shove 4-bet shove to isolate.
He has 2.9 million.
Yeah, if he's
Yeah.
coming in, he's got to come in for the whole thing. I mean,
I
he
see a
cannot-
very similar situation happening na merong isang player fumold dito ng Ace King yata. Naalala mo ba?
Yeah, we saw that
Yeah.
a couple of streams ago. He just didn't want any trouble, but dito kasi like the ranges are different.
But
Ang sakit
did you
ng
see
tingin
the
mo,
result? Did you see the result?
Yeah, result-oriented. It was a very good
Very
fold because
good
he...
decision for that player.
But we had a
In
long
hindsight,
discussion over
In
that.
hindsight, that was a good
And I
decision.
think you surrendered.
It's the same, no? Ace 10, ace, no?
So he went all in.
Which you like because proves your point of what can be done in cases like this.
Yeah.
I also remember you were talking about how people behave differently when they're being televised. So nobody wants to bust out when they're being televised.
Yes,
So
no.
that might be why that player folded ace king.
Actually, Egoy had no choice in this spot because he has a shoving hand.
The Railer very active. This is a Korea versus Philippines hand. Korea ahead. Chairman Tiger with ace king.
He's ahead and he has him covered. So everything's going in his favor here.
So Egoy has a chance to
Put a
chop.
5 out there.
Yes.
And that's probably what Egoy is hoping right now. Aside from the pen.
All the 5s, the 2s, and the 10s are going to help.
Yeah, delayed lang yung flop natin, but you see Egoy congratulating everybody.
Yes,
So that
Team Takayama.
he busted out of
River
this
with the break.
tournament.
And we will be inviting Egoy later to share some...
So Egoy, the second Filipino casualty after the first 3 bust out of 3 Korean players, we have 2 succeeding bust out of Filipino players. Egoy Lagatos at 4th place, earning him 1.2 million. Now the last 3 players, are assured of a payout of 1.8 million. Now,
What a feeling, to lose and have 1 million.
yes.
How do you tell that story getting home? How'd you do? I lost.
I lost.
I lost.
I only got
Let's
1
buy a car.
million. Yeah.
Okay.
Oo. Oy, ayan, nakikita nyo, joining us in the inside kanina.
Is.
Idol Lester probably checking kung nagbayad na si Yat Xavier ng prop bet nila.
Oh.
Ayun
Bayad
na,
na raw.
oh.
Oh.
Oo, yun nga.
Okay.
Pag si Yat Xavier nag-champion sa Monster Stock,
Lahat na.
wag mahirap.
Lahat na.
Um,
Oo.
Oo nga eh. Hindi, kasama ko na rito kanina yan.
Okay, back to the action.
Back to the
After
action. We
bust
see
out,
Will
William
Ismael.
with ace pin suited,
Mhm.
folded to him another. Oh,
And
kita mo naman
Jeremy
tong action na
naka-ace
to.
4. All
Blind
in.
versus blind.
Nakita mo yung action, no?
Uh-huh.
Wait, like William Ismail, did he get what he wanted? Except it's
Will he
huge.
be willing?
It is huge.
Will
I
he
mean,
be willing to
he lived this in because he wanted something like this to happen. But
Yes.
now,
And I
be
think he
careful
will
what
call.
you wish for because that's 11 million.
But I think he will call also.
Yeah, not cheap because
he
yeah, he just
Yes,
completed
he
it.
did.
You can't imagine an actual value hand
Yes.
doing this. So Will has to call.
Jeremy has ace 4.
All that foreshadowing that you talked about is gonna come
So
into
this,
play. Is
if
Jeremy gonna outclock it?
yes, if Will
This is a big
doubles up
pot.
here,
8 million.
If Will takes this, then
Palit sila ng
everyone's in
position.
trouble. It turns the tables because
Mm.
the chip advantage will be gone, and Will has all the other advantages in terms of skill and experience.
do they hear Queen?
It's a possible shot clock. If a 10 comes out,
We hear Brian saying there's a possible chop. You
Yeah,
will see
maybe
the
there's a
flop
pair on board.
momentarily.
seven of spades.
Oh, because there's a
Oh.
possible straight coming. Queen is already out there, so he's way ahead.
Your card is Queen on the river.
And Will doubles up.
And you have just given the most dangerous player in the table
Mhm.
a massive stack of 8 million.
Yes.
Jeremy Katalig, our for the long time our chip leader, is now down to 6.7.
Okay. Meantime, while they're paying up, we'd like to welcome Mr. Egoy, who last
yan, we'll-
fourth place Egoy,
we'll
so he
interview him.
can share some thoughts.
Yan.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, I'll give my
welcome our
mic and-
fourth placer. Our first billionaire of this final table. Our fourth placer. Dito ka sa gitna, Egoy. Yan. Hindi, yan na lang sa gitna, Chief. Yan, dito siya sa gitna. Oo. Para sa gitna, yan. Dito ka, Egoy. Yan. Our fourth placer, from Team Takayama, Egoy Lagatos. Pwede mo nang tanggalin yung ano mo, yung face mask mo para makilala ka nila. Ikaw, si Egoy Lagatos. Okay, Egoy. Coming into this final table, malaki ang stock mo. At nung unang part nitong ating final table, ikaw yung pinaka-agresibo at na-improve mo yung stock mo. And then, sunod-sunod ka ng tinamaan. So, from almost
Dyan.
4M, nalaglag ka sa 1.6.
Doon tayo naka-ripple.
Okay, oo. Nung nagsimula ng, ikaw ba aware ka na at that point nag-i-spew ka na ng chips?
Yung from the start, alam ko kayang-kaya ko talaga yung laban eh.
Oo.
Pag nagkaroon lang talaga ako ng error na isa. Pag nagkaroon ko kasi ng error, ang hirap ng bumawi. Kailangan talaga sa final table na yan, perfect talaga yung galaw eh.
Oo.
Kaya pag yun, yung pagkakamali ko na yun, napunta na sa short.
Naalala mo yung malaking hand na yun, natatama ka ng malaki?
Yung
Ano yan?
tinribet ko si pampip si Alex. Si Alex,
Lai, oo. Ay, ikaw atang unang nag-double up kay Alex. Lai,
nag-raise siya noon, tapos tinribet ko, shove siya. 600 more pa-mold, pero healthy pa yung stock ko 3.6, 600 more to ko lang ako, kaya kinol ko.
Ace 4 ka ba?
Ace 4. Ace Queen.
Ace Queen.
Ace 4 suited
Naisip mo ba kasi at that point, kasi prior to that coach, may umall in din sa yung Koreano, Ace 4 din ang
Ace
baraha
4
mo
din.
versus Ace King.
Mga short
Na-outflop mo siya, tumama yung 4. So naisip mo baka, di ba?
mas pwede. Tapos suited pa. Kung inok-shoot siguro, baka naitapon ko na pre-flop.
Kanina pinag-uusapan namin, ang tendency daw ng player, which is ako kasama dyan, kapag ka malaki ang stock at tinamaan ako ng isang malaki, nung kanina tinatanong ko sila Boss Joven, sila Yats, ako ang tendency ko try kong bawiin kagad. Mas magiging aktibo
Yun ang
ako.
magiging mindset mo agad
Oo,
di ba?
Ayaw
Mainit.
mong parang mahirap tanggalin sa isip mo that nawalan ako, gusto ko bawiin. Nangyayari ba sa iyo? Nangyayari ba kanina?
Nangyayari, pero nagkakaroon kasi ng hand din eh. kung wala, hindi mo naman di
Hindi mo
susugal eh.
pipersa
Oo,
eh.
hindi mo pupersa. Eh, nagkakaroon ako ng card, magre-raise ako, tapos may titree bet.
Oo.
Kaya doon na nag-grind na.
Mm.
Kasi short.
Pinag-usapan din namin kanina, importante talaga dito, lalo na sa mga pokerista ngayon, yung tinatawag nating endgame, yung finishing. Yun
Yeah,
yung
yeah.
polish
Yan
at
pinaka na importante lalo na mga last 5 player.
Oo,
Diba?
oo.
Almost perfect na dapat yung yung galaw mo kasi million na yung
Yes.
pinag-uusapan.
And sabi ni Chief kanina, you are representing Team Takayama na actually in-interview namin si Chuke kanina madaling araw, may YouTube channel na ang Team Takayama. At
Pinopromote natin na.
ang content yan, maglalagay na ng mga hand analysis by Mike Takayama himself.
Wow.
Kaya
Coming from Team Takayama, I'm sure may mga usapan kayo ni Choke about the hands that you played, how you play it. Ano ang I'm sure nag-usap kayo prior
kino-coach
dito
siya. Siyempre, siya yung mentor ko. Kino-coach niya ako, lalo na itong final table. Kung sino yung babakabakin mo sa table, kung sino iiwasan mo, lahat yun na sinasabi niya. Oo.
Sige nga,
All-
sino sabi ng babak?
Pwede ba? Sino ba daw ang dapat bakbakin dyan?
I'm sure
Pero
hindi naman-
always remind pa rin naman yung always position lang talaga ang galaw. Hindi na
Importante pa rin yung
napaka-importante,
picking,
number one.
position.
Walang gagalaw ng hindi na posisyon ng
Ito, kinikwento ko nga rin kanina, naka-reel din sa'yo si JM San Manuel kasi binanggit niya, no? Kasi you actually sold action.
mga
Kaya
action takers natin yan. Salamat guys sa mga action.
Eto coach, kasi nauuso yung pagbebenta ng action. There's actually a long discussion about it. Pero ang dami nagtatanong sa akin, in fact may nagme-message sa akin, sino ba ang magandang bilan ng action? Mga kaibigan, nasa harap nyo. Isa sa mga solid option whenever he sees action. This is a testament, a proof. Egoy Lagatus coming in fourth at this, pero milyonaryo ka na yung pinag-usapan na 1.2 million ang nakuha mo.
Birang-bira yung pakiramdam na yun na talo ka pag uwi mo pero may
Oo,
isang
kaya
million ka.
shout out JM San Manuel, ang ganda
Mga
ng
action
uwi niya.
takers natin,
Ang
guys.
ganda ng uwi. Sige, baka gusto mong batian o pagpasalamat muna bago ka namin pakawalan dito, Egoy.
Sa mga,
Lalaro ka pa ng monster stock eh.
Pagod na.
Dapat na, oh.
Sa mga action takers natin, salamat sa suporta. Huwag tayo magsawang sumuport sa mga maliliit na tao, lalo na yung mga nagpo-poker tournament. Kasi marami talagang poker player na na magagaling.
Magaling, hindi lang makalaro.
Hindi lang talaga nabibigyan ng chance para makalaro, 'di ba? Kasi ang lalaki ng buy-in. Kaya yung ginagawa namin, nagbebenta kami ng action para makabuo. Yun, nakaka-play kami.
Oo.
Laking bagay nung action.
After nitong APC, ano ang mga plano mong laruan? I'm sure ikaw malayo pa lang tingin ka mo na yung mga
Ngayon, kami, next kami ngayon sa Davao Kadayawan, di ba?
Kadayawan.
Sa Metro.
Pinadala sa Cambodia.
Hindi, doon kami bakasyon Philippines muna.
Philippines muna. Kasi binibiro ni Mike Takayama kagabi si Hatso sa Davao na lang daw ipapadala. Pero
Si Kuya Mike lang, pati si Christopher Mateo.
Si
Si Big Time.
ang
representative
Cambodia.
muna
At
sila.
Kayo, you'll be representing Metro at Batang Metro sa Metro Davao,
Doon muna.
Kadayawan. Magkano ba yung Metro Davao ngayon? 1.5
1.5.
1.5
M.
M.
Yan yung poker face ang tawag sa tournament nila dyan.
So ang ganda ng punta mo ng Davao, coming
Vacation
off
na
this
rin
week.
Vacation
Saka
na rin. Yun
Alright.
talaga yung maganda doon.
Okay, ikaw, alam ko, Egoy, you're one of the marami ka ring galaw. Isa ka sa magagaling magpalaki ng stock. And maraming nanonood sa atin na laging tanong, how do you get better in playing tournament? Ikaw, nakita ko rin when you were starting, magalos magkaka-table tayo noon. Ang layo na ng in-improve ng laro mo. Evident when you took down yung inaugural tournament ng Mystery Bounty ng APT, tapos nasunbandan pa itong deep run na to sa APC. Bigyan mo naman ng advice yung mga
Hindi,
players
yung
natin.
mga nalaking tulong talaga ng mga mentor natin Mike Takayama, Eman Sugismundo, mga nagtuturo si Kuya Edgar Asehan, mga nagtuturo sa'yo, lagi nagsasabi na kaya yan, focus lang lagi, focus lang talaga.
So always good na meron kang mentor na may mag-a-analyze
Laking bagay,
ng-
napakalaking bagay.
At
Papagalitan ka na, yun yung pag pinagalitan ka, syempre mali di ba? Yun na yung next na i-improve mo sa susunod para wala nang mali. Ang hirap magkamali kasi lalo na pag dip na.
Oo, lalo na
Kailangan.
dito, di ba?
Lalo na.
Biruin mo yung
Final
pagkakamali
table.
mo, diferensya ng 400,000,
Ang
600,000.
lalaki ng pay jump, ang lalaki.
Oo. So, ayun. Alright. Ayan, mga kaibigan. Again, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you,
Egoy
thank you.
Lagatus,
Sir,
fourth
thank you,
placer
thank you.
ng ating
Congrats.
Asia
Thank you.
Poker Championship. We will let you go dahil baka marami ka pang asikasuhin sa labas. At darating ang panahon, ikaw na ang invited panelist namin dito.
Alay mo.
At ikaw na rin ang mentor. Alright.
Mas
Thank you.
maganda
Thank you.
mag-final table na mag-final table.
Mas okay.
Ayan.
Para
Kesa
sa ano,
mag-panelist.
para hindi mawawalan tayo ng mga action takers.
Oo nga, definitely.
Oo.
Ikaw, solid na.
Okay.
Again, thank you, mga
Thank you, guys.
kaibigan.
Thank you.
Egoy
Congrats,
Lagatus,
congrats.
George Egoy Lagatus, fourth placer ng ating Asia Poker Championship. Ayan, habang naka-break tayo, I'm not sure, Coach, if this break was initiated by the players probably to talk ICM kasi
Eh.
nakikita kong pag nandiyan si Mean, si Madam Mean at may hawak na calculator at
Yes.
papel, ICM computation yan.
It sure looks that way.
We will try and ask for a copy ng deal that was kung nakapag-ICM sila. If ever na nag-agree.
It's about the right time because we're talking everyone's in the 1 million club. And 300 na tayo with the chips pretty much even after Will doubles off and takes the chip lead from si Jeremy ba yun? Yes. Okay. I don't know if they can hear what I'm hearing, Chester, but they're gonna have some anonymous voting regarding this deal that they're making.
Okay, we'll try to
Usually,
we'll try to
anonymous
show-
voting is you casting a red card or a black card in secret.
Ayan, ayan. Let's see. Ayan ang rule. After the deal is presented to the players, they will have secret balloting.
Yeah.
If one does not disagree, then wala. So let's try, while they're doing that, let's try to read some comments. Grace Takayama, good game. Egoy, ayan. Ano? Okay. John Paul, Jed Acosta, uy, let's go. William Ismael, kaibigan
Yeah,
natin to.
yeah. Jed and Will go way back.
Okay. So, inaano nila yung
Awi Bulatao, shout out and get back on your feet, man. Good to see you working on your health.
I think I saw him dito sa Metro in one of the day ones. Not sure. Mark Madlangsakay, sabi ni Jed Acosta, libre na out of town natin. It's because of Will, probably.
I like what Mark's saying about analyzing that small blind versus big blind jam. There was a lot of action there, and we were in the heat of the moment. But now we can talk about it. That Will's not a casual player, where you can just put him in a box and say when he completes the small blind he's weak, when he races he has a certain range. So he can mix it up. So when he completes the small blind, I think a player of that caliber, you always have to think, is he completing weak? Am I going to get him off with a raise from the big blind? And if so, if you think you can get him off with a raise from the big blind, you don't need to put all 11 million in. You're going to find out for much less than that if Will was just completing to speculate or is completing because he wants to make sure he can play the hand. So I think like a lot of our viewers might be in agreement that jam is a mistake there.
Yeah.
Because he's never getting called, so he's jamming to steal the completed portion of the blind, that extra 50K that we'll put
Right.
in. That's really what he's trying to get. Because as soon as you get called with ace-4, you know you're behind. Maybe someone less experienced might call with king jack, king queen, but Will does not have a short stack, so he's not going to do anything like that. So by jamming there, he made his hand really super weak. Like you can still think it's polarized, where sometimes he has aces, but so many other times it's so much weaker than that, where he just wants to end the hand because it was really it was too ballistic. Yeah, to put 11 million in over a completed small blind, given that it's Will Ismael doing that.
Ayan, So again, you're seeing right now they're still discussing about that. So it's gonna take some time. Uh,
Yeah, if this goes down to Will winning the whole thing, that could be the turn point hand. Not that I'm discounting Tiger, but especially now that the chip stacks are kind of even. Tiger's sitting at around what 5 million, four
yes.
million after he took out Egoy. But really giving Will the chip lead now that it's three-handed, I mean, it's a perfect time for him to get that
That's
advantage.
true.
And now we're gonna see what a guy like Will, who really studies all aspects of the game. A lot of players get mentoring for the mental part of it. A lot get mentoring for the really technical part of it. So Will is one of those guys who can be really technical,
Yes.
and it's exciting to see him play this out. So I want to mention rin yung sinabi ni Egoy about mentoring. I mean, this has always been underrated. Before, I mean, now we're seeing it. There's Team
Yes.
Takayama, there's Batang Metro. Like, people have
There's
embraced.
Action PH of
Yes,
the.
when we were learning poker and coming up in the game, it was a solo game, diba?
That's
Every
true.
man looked out for himself. There's no team. There wasn't anything like that. And then when the books came out, the
Yeah.
old pros were questioning, well, why would
Why
you
would
ride a
you?
bike? Why would you share your
You,
secret?
you remember the flack that Doyle Brunson
Yes, he
got
got
from the
flack for
old
Super
timers
System,
when he
and
released Super System.
there was a conspiracy theory that he wrote that to give bad advice,
Mhm.
because it just was not thinkable that why would you help each other.
Right.
But when I was coming up here playing locally, one of the first things I realized was that it is a very lonely way to make a living.
Thank you so much for
So for the mental strength of it, I had a partner who later became my mentor. This is Ramil,
Ah,
Ramil
yes.
Dandok. And when we saw each other, because we were crushing the underground, but we didn't really know each other, so we just said, well, that's a guy I think I can learn from. So we kind of hooked up and made a deal to go through these things together.
Yes.
So that was a time when coaching was new, and then we looked at it and we got coaching, and now everyone is getting mentoring. So to poker players who are learning out there, you have to recognize that part when you've done all you can on your own, and to proceed to the next level, you need help. You need to compare. It's not just like you can watch videos all day, but if you don't have someone to process it with you, you might not pick up what's staring you in the face.
That's true. Actually, not only for players who are for poker players who are starting out, even for players who have been in the game for like me. Like now, I've actually talked to a lot of possible mentors. Now that I want to take my tournament game play to the next level of maybe trying to win a major one. It will not happen. It's very far from happening to do it alone, to improve on your own. You would really need to hash it out with mentors, with a more experienced player, with more accomplished player.
I
Like
think
I've had long discussions
it's
with.
also a mindset now for sports in general, because if you look at 80s basketball, the only mentors you could get would be your teammates.
That's true.
But now in recent history, you saw Channing Tatum take mentorship under Kobe. Kalaban yun, di ba? But then it's that's the mindset now where there you throw ego out and you go like, if I gotta learn, it doesn't matter kung kalaban yan. If he's willing to teach, I gotta be there.
Yes.
So it's the same with poker. You look at everyone and say, well, lahat yan kalaban.
Oh, but kung tuturuan baka,
Yeah.
di ba, mag-improve pa yan,
but,
ako
but,
pamadali.
but you'd be surprised how really like the guys with the less they have to prove, the more generous they are. Like look at Chief, look at Choke, look at Lester, all these guys. Diba? They're not afraid that if they teach you, you're gonna beat them. And before when I was coaching, a student asked the same question, and really from a mentor's point of view, the best thing that can happen is for your mentee to beat the living crap out of you. Because you give him everything that you know, and he adds what he knows that you don't. And then you created a better player, and hopefully a better human being.
That's true. All right, Coach. Ito, while we're still waiting, let's take a look at all the shoutouts. Okay. Emmanuel Dagis, pa-shoutout. Boss, Katalig kami. O, mga supporter to ni Jeremy Katalig. 40 BB Jam equals value owning yourself, sabi ni Jed
Jed
Acosta.
Acosta. Yeah.
Okay. They're still talking about that hand, but we'll let it go already. Ashanti Cabrera, pa-shoutout po kay Julius Catali. Okay.
Oh,
Uh,
so supporters si Julius. I mean, if you're talking to him during the break, he could really use your support right now to steady himself. Because after a big mistake like that, like we talked to Ego, di ba? The mindset becomes make up for the mistake. Bawi, bawiin, bawiin, bawiin. But the better mindset is like, look, I still have like 6 million chips.
yes.
That didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then let's play this hand from now on.
That's true.
That
Okay.
that's the calming energy he needs from his supporters is to say, stop thinking about it. We're gonna talk about it in the chat, but he's not in the chat. He's on the
Yes.
table,
Eto,
so he has to
we
play
have
this hand.
we have a comment from Jeric Almusain. Sana raw may mic yung mga players. Actually, if you notice, we have improved our boom mic.
Yeah, I hear a lot more
Yeah,
now.
that's why we will listen to Madam Mean announces the result of the
Okay.
ICM deal.
We cannot continue with the ICM.
Okay, so it wasn't unanimous. They're not doing it.
Yeah.
Stick to the payout and continue with the tournament.
Okay, no ICM. That's the result of the secret ballot. The rule is if there's even one player out of the three that disagrees, no deal. So we heard our tournament director, Madam Mean of Metro Card Club, just informed the player no deal was
Hey,
made.
check this out. Is this meta game happening? Like, of course, there's only 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't unanimous, so
Is that-
someone
was it
disagreed.
me? Was it you?
Was it me? Was it you? Look at each other like, who was it? And I think Tiger's asking what happened here
Yeah.
as if he didn't disagree. But is this meta game? Maybe he disagreed. I don't know. It's just fun to think about that one of these 3 anonymously said, we're sticking to the payout.
Yeah. Eto, before they resume, JR Bistil, coach, boss, yesterday, 10 may nag-offer ng coaching na Pinoy. Marami actually ang mga Pinoy coaches. It depends kung anong gusto mong improve.
Dami
If
lang
it's
ngayon.
cash game, online, live, or tournament, online, live. So maraming nag-offer. PM mo si coach or PM mo ko and we can probably give recommendations. Jano Alvarez, hands down kay Coach Ron. Salute to people like you.
And this is the
Jimmy Gran, oy, mabuhay ang Matang Metro, mabuhay ka, Jimmy Gran. Continue fighting.
final
G.
three
Gonzalez,
players
sarap
in
talagang
the
makinig pag may live sa Metro. Dami natututunan. Yan.
Which is 5.4 million pesos.
Jed Acosta, couldn't have said it better, Ron Regis. Ronel Santo Tomas was my mentor for using a HUD and the technical math involved.
You talk about Jed. Jed's one of those like really unselfish guys. You know, he was the first guy who talked to me about the concept of leverage back when Full Tilt had a book. And Jed was as close to a Full Tilt pro in the Philippines as you could get back then. Right?
Yes, he was.
So you just
At
gotta
that time.
keep your ears open and you look out for these guys. Like if you're looking for a coach, just let it be known. Maraming, a lot of people willing to help because you know you're going to be able to help them also. May balikan yan eh. But put yourself out there. That's the first step. Now take a risk. Like when people call me, pwede magpa-coach. I mean, that's a big step.
Yeah.
And I don't always say yes because maybe it's not for me. But if I determine like as on stage ka na ba in your development, then maybe you need a different guy. And then
Right.
that's why Jester said PM na lang.
Alright, this is your final
And
three
what is it you're
players.
looking to get? And
Yeah.
then
The APC
find a
event
team
is
you can
up
fit in with.
shuffle
A
of the
team or a
deal.
guy doesn't. You don't really have to be in a team right away.
All right. As our venue announcer, Brian Malantig, have just announced the resumption of play after that failed ICM deal attempt. So we're down to the last 3 players to answer the question of Jeric Almusain. Third place is paying out 1.8 million. Second place is paying out 2.9 million. And the champion, a whopping 5.4 million.
Yeah, this could be
Right.
a big reason to say no to ICM right now because the chips are kind of even, like 8, 6, and 6 or something like this. Right, 6.6, 5.2, and about a little more than 8.
Right.
So that 5.4 is going to lose a lot
Yes,
if you go
that's
ICM
true.
on this one.
That's true.
Even if you take away like $500,000 to play for at the end.
Yes.
And check from Tiger, we're seeing a flop.
All right.
Ace of clubs, jack of
As we
hearts,
see
ace
this
of hearts.
battle of the blinds between Jeremy Catalig and Chairman Tiger. Jeremy Catalig just completing the blind and leading out on the flop because he hit the jack. So with 9-3 suited, Chairman Tiger will just oblige with the
Tiger,
fold.
big blind on William.
So there you see the chip count right now. Those who are asking about the chip count. You have William Ismael after that big hand against Jeremy, who is now the chip leader with 8 million. But Jeremy Katalig not really still in the thick of things. He used to have 11 million, but now he's
No
down
one's
to
far
6
behind.
million.
If you look back at that graphic, 40%, something like 36 and 26%. Remember, tatlo lang to. So anywhere around 33% is where the average is.
Right.
So Will's not that far ahead.
That's true.
He's one big pot away from evening out. That's why there really is no significant advantage. So I think like going ICM here, really, you're pretty much evening out your payout. So it may not feel right.
As we see action.
Scoring all
Ball
for
line.
players
So ito,
for
coach, ano lang to, wala na tong UTG, wala na tong button, small blind, big blind.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
a button
rotation.
small. You know, if this were a cash game, you'd straddle every button.
Yeah, oo.
You get the benefit of
And it is now
being
Tiger,
last to
small
act on all
blind,
streets.
the big blind, Tiger, fault, and small blind, William, 6. Racina flop.
And race spot,
Flop.
Chairman Tiger versus William Ismael. Chairman Tiger actually ahead with this one. Of course, both players doesn't know it. He's dominating the 9-7 of William with his 10-9.
William has advantage though in that one, he has position, and two, by checking his option and taking a free look, he can
Yeah.
represent anything
That's true.
Tiger,
except the strongest hand.
Likewise with Chairman Tiger, when he limped in, he can also do that, and
Yeah,
he
he's
just
cool.
did, no?
Yeah,
Leading out
that's
the
good for
flop.
Tiger's range, King,
Yeah.
Queen 8, and he has a gut shot.
Right. Okay. So there you go. Easy chips taken down by Chairman Tiger. There you see the chip count, 7.8 for William, 6.8 for Jeremy, and Chairman Tiger 5.4. Like you said, Coach Ron, walang masyadong nakakalamang.
I was looking more at the percentages until someone has 45 or half the chips in play. There really isn't a significant advantage.
All right.
9-7 making another appearance.
This was the previous hand ni
Yeah,
ni
Will
William.
had this.
So naglakad pa atras.
I have a theory about the algorithm that results from manual shuffling that can explain these things.
Talaga ba? Like, is it the same explanation of when you folded your hand, the next flop you'd see your
It has
hand
something to
there?
do with that. Yeah, the last hand in is going to end up on the top half of the deck with the way. That's why if you don't get a shuffling machine, I think what tournament directors should consider is rotate 2 or 3 different shuffling routines, because there's a standard shuffling routine.
Right.
You know, riffle, 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 box, riffle, and then cut.
Yeah.
So I think they should look into doing 3 or 4 variants of that, because if you keep doing the same thing, that algorithm's gonna, that
And
pattern's
as we
gonna
see
show.
another clash between William Ismael and Jeremy Katalig, but now I think Jeremy is still reeling from that big loss of a pot to William Ismael that hindi na masyadong na-look up, no? So, quick fold from Jeremy Katalig.
Well, also he didn't have an ace that
Yeah,
time.
that's true. That helps also in his decision making. Actually, I'm talking with Chief, and discounting that players are now playing in the RFID enabled tables, that where we can see their whole cards, and kind of limits or negates some of the not so ideal practice of other players when they know each other. You know, yung ang term namin dyan ng mga pokerista, padede. Oo, yung when you're trying to
In English, nursing.
Yeah,
Basically,
trying
you're
to nurse
nursing your
another
mate.
player.
Yeah, nursing your mate, keep him around.
right.
Tag team to get a third
Which
guy out.
results sometimes to like solutions, etc. Players getting caught in between. We're trying to introduce an innovation wherein at certain stage of the tournament, players will be given challenge chips.
What
is this?
I'm
Challenge.
Yeah, at any
Where
given time
you can say challenge, use it, and the TD has to review.
Yes.
It's interesting.
just to Di ba? Because
Jeremy
that will not
bet,
happen in a televised game
I
like
was
this.
working on a fun celebrity tourney style format before where you had all these lifelines,
Yeah, yeah,
call a
yeah.
friend,
Call
50-50. So,
it-
but that was more
That's a
for his
fun
showbiz.
also. That's a fun
Yeah,
also.
it's like if you have X amount of time banks, you also have one of each.
Look at this. Look at this.
check from
Uh,
Jeremy.
again, battle between Jeremy Catalic and William Ismael.
Yeah, William
Uh,
has all the advantages.
right,
When God handed out advantages for this hand, Jeremy wasn't
And
around to receive
500,
any because
yeah,
Will has the
500,000.
ace, Will has the gut shot,
right,
Will has the
right.
button, Will has the chip advantage.
And Jeremy folds.
Yes, and Jeremy all again
William takes
with
on
another
the
fold. William Ismail
button moves to
taking more,
Jeremy,
but as you can
400
see, the
tiger,
VPIP
9
right now in your
tiger.
screen, Jeremy Catalic actually has the higher VPIP, 43%, William Ismail 40%. But that's to be expected in a short-handed table
Oh,
like
now
this.
it's three-handed. That's got to go up to 60 for
Yeah,
all of
that's
them.
true.
Like if you took away all the previous data and
Again,
just
this is
started
the
counting from
Asia
now,
Poker
uh,
Championship.
I don't think you could look at VPIP anymore.
Yes, yes.
Unless you saw a guy who
AM.
was playing 300 with 25 or less, then it matters. But otherwise, it's going to be 45 and up.
Thank you for coming.
And we'd like to
We hope to
welcome
see you again
again our
the next
3,200 viewers of this live stream of the
Hello.
final table
Hello,
as we
ladies.
see Jeremy Catalic with them queens in the button position. Let's see how he plays this out.
Yeah,
He raises.
the question in the head
Parang
is,
ang laki.
yeah, the question is, how do I make this look like a button steal? That's what you wanna
Blinds are
figure out.
currently 60,000, 120,000 with a regular ante of 20,000. Jeremy raised 350 with queens.
Yeah.
5-3 for Tiger. Up. King Jack
He
suited.
could get a call here.
Yeah, definitely, I think.
Final event players, head back to your seats. 1 minute
Bells
call.
are ringing in Jeremy's head right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Getting ready to.
Unless he sees an overcard in the
That's
flop,
it.
which he doesn't. So
It's good though. Like he doesn't know Will has King Jack, so
Yeah.
if Will's defending with any kind of pocket pair, he might get at least one more call here. Especially betting into a paired board,
Yeah.
usually means nothing. And you're challenging a guy to call you, so he could get a check call here.
600,000. William Cole.
Will's not messing around there.
of course, in
Monster
sa
Stack
part ni Will,
players,
he doesn't want to
head
really
back
give
to
back
your
right
seats.
away.
But
The
he didn't get
30
he didn't get
seconds
anything he
remaining on the
wanted. He didn't get a single diamond, not a single face card, especially not even a pair. So
The blinds are at
absolutely
400,
nothing.
800, handies of 800.
It's one of those boards though where if you had the queens, you wish the guy had
10
sevens
seconds
or
remaining
eights.
on the break. Monster Stack players, back to your seats. Again, the blinds at 400, 800, handies of 800. Dealers with the Monster Stack side event, let's deal.
I wonder if the monster stack is still open.
Yeah, the
here.
Monsters at the side event will be playing. Late registration is up until the end of level 10. We will try to
Yeah,
get information as to what
I
level
just
the side
heard
event is right
that the
now.
blinds for 400, 800. That sounds like it's below level 10.
Now, Tiger and the button will fold it. It's now on William on the 12
Blind versus blind. These are the matches we want to see.
Again. William will open with King 5 suited.
William raises
360.
to
And Jeremy will call that race with King 9
That's a
offsuit.
call from Jeremy. We're seeing a clock.
So pot of 780 right now. So you can see those information in your screen, especially if you're using a bigger gadget than your cell phone. Eto.
We can see the hand, but so we know what's what. But I like Jeremy here defending just to say, I'm not rolling over and blind versus blind.
And he even raises William.
Very interesting. Telling William he has a queen.
Yeah,
But, on a board like this, why would a queen raise?
That's
That's
true.
what William's
That's-
thinking.
that's-
You can smooth call and easily get another bet on the turn. So why would you raise right now? So you got either queen with weak kicker or you got nothing. So Will is going to see.
And probably that
Okay,
is
and
what
first card,
William can see with that action of Jeremy.
first card, 10
Yeah,
cards.
I mean, it could be 6-7, but it's just not so queenish to
Waiting
do
sets.
that. So
750.
it will
And
feeling good about his
Yeah,
5.
Jeremy,
and
now the jet
Jeremy
by Jeremy.
continues with this second barrel bluff bet. Well, because I think the 10 kind of improved Jeremy's hand. Now he has an
You gave
inside
him a
straight
gut
draw.
shot. Plus,
Yeah,
plus you can't just lay down. You can't raise a flop and then
River
not bet the
card,
turn. It's super weak.
that's
It
true.
screams 6-7.
Queen of
Yeah.
spades.
So he has to bet here, or else it's like he's giving up. So for Will, I mean,
This
he's made up
is
his mind that
a
the 5
queen.
is good,
Waiting
Yeah.
checks.
and that if he made up his mind that Jeremy doesn't have a
And
queen, then
Jeremy bets
he should
1
be
million.
calling here. It's still easier said than done because the thing is, even if you know what to do, if there's enough pressure, you might not do it. So Will has to sit back and think about figure
What
this
is
out.
William contemplating here? He smooth called, check smooth called everything that Jeremy bet, which is indicative that he knows he's ahead with his 5. But this uh, triple barrel bet of
Yeah,
Jeremy
that
with
third
1M.
barrel always gets you to second guess
Yeah.
your initial read. It's like, but it makes so much sense. Yeah, that's why you have to call because if he's representing a
We
queen
have Jeremy showing
with a
king
bluff,
9
then you have to bluff on the river as well.
and king
But
5.
since it didn't make sense that
Right.
Jeremy would have a queen there,
William takes down
it
his
just fits
spot.
the story that he would also bluff the queen on the river.
True, that's true. And but equally impressive is that okay, we've seen William called it with his bottom pair and saw that it's good enough to take down that almost 4 million pot, 3.5 million pot.
Yeah,
So
I think the key here was that the flop did not make sense, but also like the river bet, if you're betting that queen for value,
Yeah.
I think would have been much bigger.
you know who's enjoying this development? Chairman Tiger. Because if I'm in his position,
Doing his
I
dirty
will
work,
let
right?
this do. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
doing the dirty work for me. I might as well sit aside and watch you guys bust out each other. If he's astute enough, he can see that probably try to think what Jeremy is going on in his mind right now after this losses to
Tiger shows an ace.
William Ismael.
Not happy with
Come on, he just gave Tiger a walk. Maybe he's preserving his chips because he wanted
Yeah,
to get
he's
back
seeing this
from
unfold.
William, not from Tiger.
I mean, he's folded his way to second in chip lead right
30
now.
minutes remaining on this level for the main event.
Yeah.
Okay, we have our
I like what Jim said
Yeah,
right there,
Jim
Jim,
said.
because that's exactly what I'm saying. You're going to commit to this bluff. I mean, you watched a guy like Michael Adamo, he's going to commit to his bluff. That river's going to be a shove or somewhere
that's
close
true.
to it.
That was what I was
One
about
man's
to
not
ask.
getting it done. I
Should
mean,
have been a shot.
oh, okay, well, look, someone's about to bounce back with Cowboys if he gets some action this one. So once again on the button,
First lead.
and the thing is, how do I make it look like I'm steaming and stealing?
That's true.
Call, flat call. It's trying something different. Not a fan of this because you want to get value for your hand. And also, he hasn't done this in the recent few hands. So he might as well have gone with a raise because it would fit the story that
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
steaming right now
Right.
and just wants to get some chips back.
Tiger, Chairman Tigers. Got ace 10 for William Ismael. Will this be the hand
could
that
get
Jeremy is waiting?
He could get tested, but then the thing about flat calling this button is how you're going to get 3.3 million in right now.
Yeah.
Because if Will raises here and you want to go over the top, ang layo pa ng 3.3.
Yeah.
So 460, you could go like pump it up to 1/3 of your stack, like 1.3.
Jeremy raises to 1 million.
The 1 million. It's going to set off alarm bells for Will.
Yeah, well,
Because it's so unusual that you would limp raise that button. It's just that Will has a hand
Yeah.
that makes this trickier. You gotta call out of position with ace 10, which is dominated by almost every 3-betting hand out there.
that's true.
And notice it wasn't a limp shove. So it's the higher end of the 3-betting range
William push
Oh, Will
all in,
decides to
and
just,
free
Yeah,
fall,
just
let's
decide
but
to
not
put it
figure
Jeremy,
all
this
in.
out. Let's just run
Jeremy
it.
has pocket kings. William flips over
Very good
ace
turn of
ten of
events for
clubs.
Jeremy. He
Yeah,
got
that's
what he
true.
Ace
wanted.
ten suited, one
The
overcard for
flop will be
William
very
versus
crucial here.
Jeremy's
If
spare
Will
king
does not hit
cowboy
his ace
suited.
on the flop,
Jeremy's all in for
it's
six
Yeah.
gonna be
dollars.
very tough
I
for
mean,
him to find
Jeremy's
it or
blocking the
suck it out.
clubs.
We
Yeah.
have William,
He's blocking
the
some
ace of C, the
straights.
flop.
So it's really the ace that you're
Ace.
just worried about right now. A
And the
lot of
flop,
backdoors and
ace
runouts
10,
will not show
7,
up.
two spades.
Oh my God.
Right away, two pair in the flop.
Man,
William Ismael
Should have
flopping
outs
tough
in
that's
two
the
it. I mean,
pairs.
it's got to be
He's
runner,
got
runner
king, let's see
straight,
the turn.
and that hardly ever happens. You can see
What
he's
a
got a two outer right
heartbreaker
now.
for Jeremy
Well done,
Vitalik.
ace full house.
Full house
Wow.
on the river. What a way to pass out. Jeremy Catalik exiting.
Thank you very much for playing. We are
Yeah,
down
Jeremy
to
Catalik
two players.
exiting
Heads
in
up
third place,
for the title
bringing home
champion
1.8 million.
of APC.
And as we have started with Korea versus the Philippines, both countries having 4 players each in the final table comprising the final 8, we are down to 1 Korea, 1
And
Philippines.
who better than Tiger?
Yeah, and who
to
better
represent-
to represent that the Korean delegation, Chairman
I'll tell you
Tiger.
what, Tiger got the job done, just staying out of the way. I am sure when the Kings and Ace 10 went in that he was yelling and screaming in his mind, ace, ace, ace.
See, when he saw them battling it out, just step aside and do the work for me. Now I'm in the heads up. I mean,
It doesn't help Jeremy that he actually had a hand and he got called. He got it in. I mean, this is like saying it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. It's an empty consolation.
Yeah.
You're still eliminated, but he got the money in.
and not a bad payout for Jeremy with 1.8 million. That's still sizable
and
payout.
as a poker player, you gotta remind yourself to look at the 1.8 and not the difference between
That's
5.4 and 1.8.
Because you'll just feel bad.
Yeah, if you think like I won 1.8, you feel really good about your career. But you think like I lost 3.6 that you never had, then you need to reevaluate your
First hand of this heads up. Chairman Tiger sending a message to William Ismael that maybe he realizes, I'm behind in terms of tournament experience, etc., and aggressiveness. But this is what you're going to have to contend with.
Yep.
I'm
It's
just
the
gonna
tone here.
offset that with a shove.
Look, he's guaranteed second, so the guy has nothing to lose. He may know enough that he's at a disadvantage here.
Right,
Chip
right,
wise, home court wise, even experience wise.
And ladies and gentlemen, you are watching this live from Metro Card Club, the home of Philippine Poker Champion. This is the heads up for the main event. As we see, Chairman Tiger, is he racing? Oh, no, just completing. Because technically he's the small blind when he's the bottom.
Yep.
Queen 5 off. And William Ismael with the hand that dominates that of Chairman Tiger. So we probably, and this is a hand that he can probably race with.
Oh, for sure. I mean, heads up, you're raising almost everything, and even 3-betting.
But that's I think that's gonna be the flavor of this heads up, is that Chairman Tiger's game won't be really that speculative against William, where I think it's just gonna come down to if they're given setup cards.
I don't know about not being speculative, because if that's what Tiger's thinking, he wouldn't complete that button. I mean, he wanted to be really careful. He should
That's
be
also a
raise
good
folding
point.
that
Yes,
Queen
yes.
5.
Yes.
I think we got the wrong hand on the wrong player. It was supposed to be Queen Jack for Will Ismael, unless the graphic had it backwards.
Yeah.
I think we're having a bit of a glitch. I know it was Queen 5 for Tiger and Queen Jack for Will.
That's true.
But looks like they mixed it up. They corrected it now. It's Queen Jack and still dominated.
Yeah.
Queen 5 versus Jack 5 apparently. So still not a fan of completing. I think Tiger should lean towards more polarizing his range,
Right.
where
and
he
this is-
raises his garbage and his good cards.
This is the
on the
third
button.
hand of this final table. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the heads up of the final table. Out of the 502 main event runners, were down to the final 2. They have bested 500 others. to
I mean,
be in this
it's nice to say it,
situation.
but when you really think about it, if you walk into a room on day one and you see 500 people, and you say 500 of them will be gone and I'll still be standing here, that's monumental. That's borderline unrealistic.
That's true. That's true. Okay, as we go back to this is the third hand of this heads-up action. Queen 9 off for Chairman Tiger. Now he's coming in racing,
Wow,
but
Will's always got a hand. He's gonna come over the top of him here.
that's true. We can expect a 3-bet.
I think what we're looking at here is how much adjustment can Tiger make.
Oh, he just flatted. Okay.
We're gonna try to see if he flops something and he can let Tiger hang himself with.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of board. Tiger's thinking, I know I should bet, I know I should bet, I know I should bet. I can't.
Yeah.
Check for both players, third bar.
Check, check, pretty much defines his range for Will, looking at Tiger's range, where, okay, so all the overpairs are out the window here.
William check.
So you're definitely...
William is checking this out of position because he knows that he's convinced that he's probably ahead.
well, I wouldn't say he's convinced he's ahead, but Tiger not betting that flop,
Yeah.
most of the time puts his cards in the Broadway range.
All right.
So William has a decent hand that he can check call something small here.
William check.
But that 4-heart board, if Tiger bets big enough, he could get this pot just because of the texture. Better make it big, Tiger,
Yeah.
because Will can look you up.
And Tiger bets 400,000.
I think maybe an over bet should be in
Yeah.
order there. 400 might not. I mean, you saw Will call a million with bottom pair
Yeah.
when it didn't make sense. But here the 4-heart texture really does help. Yep, gets looked up.
Call from
Just,
William.
Just to keep you honest, maybe you will.
Yeah, you always gotta consider, like, you gotta
hearts.
commit to your bluffs.
And William shows ace jack of clubs. No flush for both players. And ace jack
You bet
wins.
something that small, a player might be thinking, I know I'm behind, but it's worth the call to see what he had and put those pieces together for the rest of this match.
That's true.
So you're calling for the information, but you end up winning the pot. Yeah, I think Tiger missed the flop bet there.
Yeah.
If you're bluffing, if you're planning to bluff, don't keep the pot small because that last bet it has to be very uncomfortable.
Small blind in the button raises to 300,000. It's now on
Like when
Tiger.
Jojo Tech set up that bluff last night with the eights.
Yeah.
He had to build that pot so that last bet would be like really tough to swallow. Could be bad time to go all in here because Will has something that can call most
This is the
shoves.
5th hand or the 6th hand of this final table, and who knows, this might just be the last hand. That's Chairman Tiger opening with the shove. Ace
I don't
deuce.
blame Tiger here because if you look at the last hand, you can just conclude that okay, I'm not gonna progress playing post flop with this guy.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen, not right now, not with
Yeah.
3 to 1, 15 million to 4 million. So either I double up now and try the post flop game later,
Right.
or I'm out.
And William put the chips,
And
calling
the call
Tiger
from
shove.
William after the count.
And Tiger will see that he's got his hand dominated. Ace deuce versus ace 10.
Last time Will had ace 10, he didn't need to be ahead. So he hit it so hard, he busted the guy with kings.
William ahead dominating.
We'll let Brian Malantig, our venue announcer, do the talking right now, announcing, calling out this hand.
This is it, guys. Dominating your opponent. Have him covered for the APC championship.
For all the marbles in the jar.
Oh, now a deuce and a 5 has come into play as a possible out.
Uh-oh.
Still not a lot. 7 outs with 2 cards to go is more than what he started with anyway.
10 is ahead with the pair ace. And the kicker 10
2 of 5 or running 2 pairs.
Third card
Able to.
is the
That's
number 3
good
of the
for Tiger. So it
Yeah,
gets him
yeah,
chopping
yeah.
outs now. Any card higher than a
Then
10
10,
chops it.
right,
A
chops it.
5 wins it.
A
A
deuce,
deuce doesn't matter anymore.
doesn't matter anymore because
And
the
let's
three
see
paper.
that third
It's all
card.
those cards higher than a 10 that
That
matter.
is a 9.
Oh, just barely.
Let's give it all
Just
round of
under.
applause.
Wow, and we have your Asia Poker Championship main event champion, William Ismael from the Philippines. Props and congratulations to Chairman Tiger for running this deep, making it back-to-back final table. Running this time, running deeper. That's the
Closer this
first
time.
time he was in the final table at second
We
place.
have a
Chairman
champion.
Tiger wins 2.9 million, and our champion William Ismael taking down 5.4 million in cash and that very good looking trophy.
What a weekend for Will.
Yeah.
Final table last night in a high roller. Now taking this down.
Thank you very much for being here.
I saw him in the coverage, right? He was in the final table.
No, I covered that, but for the life of me right now, I can't really
Championship.
recall. I don't.
Metro Council and
Was the final table last night?
I don't think.
I just saw
We
it.
are really happy to
Unless
have
I'm
you
watching an old
I'm not so sure also.
And how does Metro know which guys to put on the poster before the event? Because they put this guy on the poster.
Did they?
Yeah, they had this countdown, how many days to go for APC.
yeah, yeah,
They had
because
Mike, they had Mark, they had Will.
That's the Metro Team Pro counting it down. So
Yeah,
any
yeah.
one of those
Yeah, but you
players-
put 5 guys and about 300 possible guys you can put on that poster.
All right, all right, all right. So there you go. As you see them, we'll try to catch an interview with the champion. I don't think the interview with the runner-up is possible because he doesn't really speak English. Si Chairman Tiger, but we'll try to catch an interview with our champion William Ismael. We'll just try to see as you see them fixing for the ceremonial photo op with the champion.
Yeah, they got a that,
let's-
that ace 10 hand really took him all the way there. It got him out of that near debacle with kings and took out one tough opponent. And then it appears again here to seal the deal for him.
Right, 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 right.
You gotta rewatch this heads up though. Will had a dominating hand in almost every hand. Yeah, the guy has Jack 5 gets Queen 5. You know, Ace Deuce, Ace 10.
But you know, actually, the consensus yesterday when they see Will with really a massive stack is that he will end up winning this tournament. And just as we have promised you guys, coach, you have to switch places with Will so we can.
Also, we gotta go to the full screen. I don't know if,
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, joining us right now in the panel is your Asia Poker Championship champion, William Ismael. Okay. No, they already know naman. They already know that we're coming in 10 minutes delayed with the action, as understandably. So yeah, we have here. Yeah, this is. No, this is you. This is you. This is you.
I like that.
That's okay.
as good as the Mike
Alright.
win last time.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. But one before I kick off this interview, Will, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Chester. Thank you.
I was watching you yesterday, and this battle with Jeremy Catalic. I was telling everybody here in the panel that actually started yesterday.
Yeah, I did actually.
You were actually he was sitting on 3.2,
Yeah.
and you hit him with 2 hands that really made him spew, and his chips went down to almost 1 million.
Yes.
Yeah, but no showdowns on those.
Yeah.
There was even one hand that he 3-barreled again. I think you had the number of this guy. He 3-barreled yesterday. You tanked, and I was thinking, are you folding? And then you came back with a raise, and he immediately mocked his hands.
Yeah, that's
Walk us through yesterday that process.
So yesterday it was I pretty much had the chip lead most of the day, and then I was transferred to his table, and he was extremely lucky. He was getting aces, kings, and there was other hands. So he managed to build up a really big stack. And so when he would raise really big. He would raise 4x, 5x, and I would have just the right hands to call with it, and then I would hit the flop, and then he would bet very big, so the pot would be very bloated, and I just always had a hand versus him. And then the times where I didn't, it just worked out where I bet he blocks right away, he folds. So it was a pretty good, it was a breeze honestly. Like I had the right spots, everything was perfect. Like it's a perfect run.
And then when at that point when he was down to 1 million, and people, I was telling people he's crippled, and I'm actually surprised that when I looked at the end of yesterday, he's back with 5 million. But I saw one hand after being grinded out to 1 million. Like you said, he was very lucky. He had a lot of cards. He had several aces, and one of those aces actually knocked out your friend Kyle Magbanwa. Kyle opened with pocket tens,
Yes.
and he three bet shoved
Yes.
Kyle. No.
So Kyle opened from the cutoff with tens. I think he had about 29 big blinds. And then Jeremy from the big blind just went all in, and Kyle called off with tens. Like it's pretty a standard call. And yeah, Jeremy just had those spots. There was a spot also Jeremy had where Flo opens. Another guy three bets, and Jeremy from the big blind four bets, and Flo gets all the money in with queens, and he has aces again. So
Right.
yeah, he was having a dream run. He was getting big hands, and other people also had big hands.
That's true. I remember
Yeah.
also another big hand where he had pocket deuce and he hit set,
Yes.
and he got paid off.
By queens, yes.
You were the one who paid him with that.
No. It was the guy who,
Oh,
yeah, he ended up busting out. Yeah, it was a very good player. I forgot his name, but he plays a lot here in Metro. But yeah, he was hitting everything yesterday, and even today he was.
Right. Yeah. So from yesterday coming into today, although the consensus, I was every time the final eight, I tried to get a consensus, and I was telling people, you know, I know Will when he's coming into a tournament with did big stack, it's really very hard to play. But if you watch the replay of this live stream, I've always told him when I'm with Will and he's got this big stack, he intimidates me.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we know that you can play a lot of hands. You're good at reading people, but coming into this, I think there's this somehow a meta game between you and Jeremy. Jeremy with the big coming in as a chip leader. He knows you're probably aware that you're probably the most dangerous player on the table, that one that can pose a challenge, and you've been at it back and forth until you hit him with that shove with ace.
Yeah, with ace four and ace queen. Yeah.
Yeah, walk us through the final table.
Sure. So yeah, it was. So I'm second in chips, and it's kind of like the nightmare spot usually in final tables if you're second in chips, and the other guy is right to your direct left, and that's
true.
what ended up happening. So because of that, I couldn't really do much. But it's a good thing that he wasn't also putting pressure on my stack. So because of that, I was still able to open pretty liberally, and he wasn't really attacking my stack. Which is because in day two, when we would always engage, he was always ending up in the wrong end of the engagement.
Right.
So that's why probably he wasn't really attacking my stack. But yeah, I just had to wait it out. He was getting a lot of hands and he was busting people out, and I noticed that. So I was just waiting it out, protecting my stack for the spot where
Where you can really
I felt like, yeah, if he made another mistake, I'm able to pounce on the mistake, and that's kind of what happened with the
Yeah.
ace four.
Prior to that, that all in with ace four and ace queen, there was even a hand that he actually made a very good raise. I'm not sure if raise or bet in the river. He has nothing.
Yeah.
You were actually ahead, but you called it anyway.
Yeah, I had jack high, and I really thought I was ahead,
Right.
and I thought about the hand, and I wanted to either call or re-raise.
That's
But
true.
yeah, I thought like that my stack would be closer to the field, where I wanted to keep my stack a little bit
Yeah.
more separate from the field. So it was a little high variance, but yeah, I knew I was kind of ahead, and I found out I was ahead on that spot. But I only had jack high.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
true.
hard.
Okay, now before that fateful hand, there was an attempt to do a deal at the time where almost all your stack are even. Like Coach Ron and me are talking. Nobody, we don't see any ICM deal happening because of the stack. The eventual champion will really have to compromise a lot of his possible payout.
Yes.
So no deal was reached.
Yeah, so we were discussing ICM. I was a chip lead, but I thought I had a lot more. Excuse me, but I didn't. So when we looked at the numbers, everyone was getting about 3M. I was shooting for maybe if I was going to get 4.5, I might have
Yes.
considered it, but when it was 3M, yeah, they wanted to get a chop and they thought it was, but I said no.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we just kept playing, and
And
I was the eventual champion.
okay, and that let's go now to that hand you limp in. What? Okay, you gotta
Sure, I'll
share
make
with
this
us
one.
your thought process. Why did you limp in? Because you were actually did you actually think that he's gonna do that move?
So if you noticed my whole play versus him, small blind versus big blind, because he is the biggest stack and he has me covered. I have to pretty much limp my whole range
Yeah.
because if I play a bloated pot versus him, he can just put pressure on my stack, and it'll hurt my stack a lot. So the strategy there is to limp pretty much a big portion of my range there, and some of the best limping hands are like suited aces, and I just end up having one of the best suited aces there. And so when he jams, it was a big jam. It was about for 38. I had 38 big blinds, and he jams. So this is a very high, like this.
You were at
This
4 point something. He was at
yeah.
11.
So this spot was worth a lot of money. So, but I can't fold this hand. It's too, and that's one of the reasons why I limped, because if he does happen to overplay his range here, I'm able to just catch the mistakes that he's going to make, and that's kind of what happened. And from there it was a breeze.
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah, we know because
Yeah.
we the succeeding hands that you got that you engage him, I think is still reeling from that big loss. That you can see the change in the attitude, in the behavior, and the way he,
Yes.
and ultimately you busted him out with the same hand that you busted the Chairman Tiger. Ace is gonna be pretty special for you for quite some time now.
Yeah, it's a lot of money they're putting in with Ace 10, but I realized they were getting a lot of money in pre-flop, so I have to, when the game's gonna play like that, I could have overfolded and maybe like just get them all post-flop, but they just wanted to go all in, so I had to call off with the top of my pretty much some of my best hands. And
And
Ace
yeah,
10.
yeah, yeah, and that ace that just netted you vying for a four. We have a lot. You have a lot of friends following you. We have Jed Acosta. We have Mark Malanzakay. So I'm gonna give you them a chance to address, and maybe those your family who's probably following you. I'll give you a chance to.
Yeah.
To
So thank you everyone for watching. This is a wonderful moment. Glad that everybody was able to share it with me. And to everyone I love, you guys know you're a big part of all this. And just like for the Filipino poker community, just keep on working. Like enjoy this game. This game is so much fun, and just always have fun and always try to get better and work on your game. And yeah, just keep working.
yeah. What's next for William Smile right now?
Um,
Are you? Some of the big players are flying to Cambodia
yeah.
to play the WPT. Are you planning to do that as well?
Yeah, I have to figure that out. I have a daughter I have to take to
Oh,
school. But yeah, I wanna. I'm at the top of my. I feel like I'm playing really well now. I'm zoned in, so it's worth a lot of money for me to head out and play. Cambodia's having record-breaking numbers right now, so it's
Right, right.
probably going to be best for me to head over there.
Plus,
So,
it's always good to ride the crest of a
exactly.
victory
Yeah,
like this.
if you're playing well and the cards are also on your favor, you definitely have to keep playing and playing.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The champion once again of the Asia Poker Championship Third Edition, William Ismael. Congratulations
Jester.
again, and thank you for
Thank you for everything you do for the community.
we're gonna let you go because I know you have a lot of friends that want to congratulate you and those who follow
Thank you.
and enjoy this win.
Yeah, I gotta
okay.
count the money.
All right, and we're gonna close it out
Stack
here
the money.
at the Metro Card Club. Yeah, okay. In behalf of
Thank you, guys.
the men and women of Metro Card Club, headed by Miss Mylene Advincula, the operations manager, Mark Rivera, we have Mark Reyes, the staff, the dealers, with the slew of panelists that we've had, Jojo Tech, Lester Edo, Flo Campomanes, Yasavier Joven Huerto, who else? Joseph Sia, Chairman Tiger was here also. And our panelist right now, Coach Ron, this is your caster, Jester Tirapasok Intia, saying thank you, good afternoon, at mabuhay ang manlalarong pokeristang Pilipino.